Any objection? Seeing none, so move. All right, so at this point, I'll go ahead and open up the Baldwin Park City Council regular meeting. Today's April the 15th, tax day, by the way, 2015, and the time is 7:05. I'm going to have Pastor Jackson, is he present? Pastor Jackson, if you could lead us in an invocation followed by the flag salute. So I will ask all those that are able to stand to please do so at this time. Thank you.
Father, we come in the name of the Lord, giving you praise and thanksgiving. Thank you for Baldwin Park. Thank you for the mayor, city council, and all of those that are working together to make Baldwin Park a great city. There are many issues that need to be dealt with, but we're asking you to give them wisdom and knowledge and understanding how to deal with every situation that come up that they have to deal with. We're asking you to touch our school district, Lord God. Touch our children, where our children, Lord God, will not get involved in the gangs and dope, Lord God, but they will go on with a further education, Lord. And our police department, as they out in the streets to serve and to protect, Lord God, when issues come up their way and they have to make decisions, Lord God, help them to make the right decision, Lord God, to put everyone in a protective way without being hurt, harm, or danger according to the situation that is at hand. And so, therefore, our fire department, our government, Lord, we need your help. We need your advice. We need your divine direction. And above all, too, Lord, our parents are looking for a way to be able to help their children to grow and to prosper. So look out for our children, our school, the political issues, the police department, fire department, and all those that, the business too, Lord. They need you. So we thank you, and we pray in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Thank you. At this point, we're going to pledge the flag. Please face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and I want to say good evening to the packed house that we have here this evening. At this point, I will ask our city treasurer will take a roll call. As a matter of fact, thank you for coming back. I know you were on a sister city trip, Maria Contreras, and also Ms. Alejandra Davila. So I want to thank both of you. At this point, we're going to go ahead and conduct the roll call. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. Councilmember Monica Garcia. Here. Councilmember Susan Rubio Hernandez.
Present.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Okay, I'll move to excuse them.
Mayor Pro Tem Cruz Baca. Here. Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Present. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Appreciate that. Council members have any wishing to close on anyone's behalf? Councilmember Susan Rubio, were you going to share?
I'm not closing anybody.
Okay, well, that's fine. Go ahead and share.
Thank you, Mayor. Just really quickly, we want to invite our residents and all our guests here to attend our Arbor Day celebration, which is going to be held on April 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Morgan Park. So you're welcome to join us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd also
Councilmember
like
Cruz Baca, Vice Mayor.
to, I'd also like to point out that April is Poetry Month, and coming from a songwriter perspective, I'd like to congratulate all the poets. We have a few here in Baldwin Park that have been published, so this is Poetry Month.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to share any other items? Okay. If not, at this point, we have various presentations, and I'm going to kind of move away from the little order that we have here. I'm going to start out with the first ones that we have, which is the presentation of plaques to the Baldwin Park honorees for the 2015 Women of the Year Award, selected by Assemblymember Roger Hernandez and Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. So I believe we have some of the candidates, and I'll call them up to the dais. The first one that we have Josephine Jojo Croin. So is she here?
Yes.
Is Jojo here?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Oh, I see Jojo back. Jojo, there she is. Actually, Councilwoman Monica Garcia and I were at her house when she turned 90 years old, which is about what, how old? I know she's
She's 93, Mr.
93 now. Thank you. Jojo, we love you. We'll go down there and present the plaque to you. Actually, let me go ahead and take the plaques down there, and then we'll get a, you know what, is Jojo able to come up to the dais?
Yes.
Let's bring her up to here, please.
Come on.
So, and then the second individual that I'll bring up as well is Leticia Tovares. Is she here? Leticia? Okay, she's not present.
See her. Oh, that's a shame.
Nadine Golder, is she present? If we could have her come up to the dais. We also have Patricia Gonzalez. Is she present? Oh, is this our own Vivian Olivares?
Olivas.
Olivas, excuse me,
Vivian.
without my glasses.
Reyes.
Reyes, right?
Reyes.
Isn't that-
Married.
Oh, that Vivian, that's Vivian. You got married, so you're now Reyes, right? All right, you go, girl.
I would just like to say real fast to all the audience that may not know these people. Collectively, these ladies have spent hundreds of hours volunteering within our community and outside our community. And to hear their stories and everything that they've done in their lifetimes to better some of our kids and our seniors and our youth here in Baldwin Park. So can we give them a round of applause again?
Just do mine as well. All righty. Okay, so the first one I'll read off. They actually, let me go through one. Where's JoJo's? Okay, here we go. JoJo, let's have JoJo stand up here. All the plaques read the same, so we'll read JoJo's. I want to first of all thank Congresswoman Grace Napolitano, as well as Assemblymember Roger Hernandez for making it possible and recognizing the importance of promoting and recognizing the women's roles in today's society. It's important. And JoJo, you are an outstanding resident for many, many years. So I want to thank you on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park. What we are going to do to all the individuals, we're going to place your pictures in the newsletter for the city, so it goes out to all 75,000 residents. And you're going to see JoJo in the morning. Go by the marquee at the park. Your name's going to be there. Okay? All right. Okay. So let me read this with my glasses, JoJo. Okay,
go ahead.
Okay, so it says, the City Council commends you for your commitment and volunteer service to the citizens and community of Baldwin Park. You are a true example of an extraordinary woman, a great influence to our entire community. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, JoJo, we give you the symbol and the plaque that represents the city. Thank you. Love you. Oh, they all read the same, right? Okay, so the next one, let's go ahead, yes. The next one goes to Vivian Olivares. Olivares, put on my glasses. Now let me just say, Vivian's worked for the city of Baldwin Park, the Baldwin Park Police Department for how many years?
27.
27 years. She's a longtime resident of the city of Baldwin Park, and she recently got married, so her new last name is Reyes. Where's the husband? Brother. All right. So, Vivian, it's a distinct honor for me to present you with a plaque, and you have always been on the forefront when it comes to volunteering in our community as well, besides working here. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, present you the plaque. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes.
As the city presents the plaques, I also want to acknowledge our Senator Ed Hernandez, our Assembly Member Roger Hernandez, and our Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. They've also sent certificates, so I also like to present on their behalf.
Yes, thank you. Okay. All righty. Okay, the next one that we have. Okay, we have Patricia Gonzalez. Patricia, thank you. But we want to thank Patricia as well as all the individuals that are here. Continue to do the good job that you do because you represent and you're a role model for all the women out there. Si se puede. Thank you. Yes. We're going to get a picture with all the council individuals right now. Okay? Okay. Thank you. All right. So the last one. Okay, the next one is for Nadine Goller. So let's give her a great hand. Nadine, first of all, I want to thank you because I think it's an honor and privilege that only special individuals get recognized by the State Assembly and by the State Senate that represent our district. And you obviously are an exemplary individual. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, I want to thank you. Keep up the good job and you're a good role model. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, at this point, each and every one, you're gonna say some words. So come on up. Who wants to be the first one? No? Jojo, you want to say some few words? Come on up.
Do you want to say anything?
Anyone want to say any few words? Come on up. Absolutely, definitely.
Okay, I would like to thank you very much for this honor, this plaque. I just want you to know that I've been doing volunteer work for a long time, and I love it, and I'll continue doing it till the day I die.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Hello, I want to say in Spanish.
Está bien.
Llevo 10 años juntándonos con varias mujeres haciendo todas las mañanas ejercicio en la Iglesia Católica San Juan y en la Iglesia Metodista de Baldwin Park. Y gracias a Dios por que nos siguen apoyando cada día. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
All right. I just want to say thank you. Thank for all of you for being here, and I encourage you to get involved with the community. There's many organizations that need you, and on behalf of the Baldwin Park Women's Club, I thank them very much, and everyone else, thank you.
All right, awesome. Let's get a picture of everyone. And let's get a picture. Oh yeah, absolutely.
My name is Albert. I grew up in Baldwin Park.
Right.
On behalf of my Aunt JoJo, she wanted to say a special thank you to Denise Tornatore
Oh, where's Denise?
of Adult Education. I don't think she made it yet tonight. She couldn't make it. But Aunt JoJo is very grateful to all that participate in the Senior Center.
Thank you.
And the City of Baldwin Park. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Manny, can we get a picture? Oh yes. Okay. All right, we're gonna get our picture. Let's get everyone in here. Come on, JoJo.
Yes, you can get in the front.
Let's get it. It's all right.
Oh, I don't need to. He's going to make it.
Take a few pictures.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
One, two,
Taconazo.
and hold it. 1, 2, hold it. One more. Okay, one more camera.
Right. Yes. So you guys gotta make sure everyone's in there.
2, and thank you.
All right. You know what? Let me get one separate with the candidates.
Sure.
Who didn't I take a picture with?
But all the honorees, Mayor.
Yeah. Get 'em? Okay. You know what? We're gonna get a separate one with them so we can place you in the city newsletter. So you want to do it right here?
Come on up front, JoJo.
Kind of get in the center where the hub's at.
A little bit closer.
Wow, a lot of pictures. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, JoJo. All right, the next presentation that we have of certificates of recognition for Dana Aguirre and Marissa Palomino, students of Ballpark High School, for receiving a music scholarship from the San Gabriel Valley District Women's Club. Are they both here? Certificates. Oh, he's there right here. All right. Are the recipients here? Come on up. Yes. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, is it just two?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I heard you sing. Fantastic. Unbelievable voices.
What's the name? Oh, it's the names? Sorry about that. Okay. Where's yours?
Must be those. Or wait. Are they those?
Oh, this is it right here. Save that for me. Yeah, go ahead and read this one. You sure? Okay. All right, let me get my chair. Let me read it. Alrighty. So at this point, the actual certificate recognition reads: the City Council congratulates you for participating in the music competition from the San Gabriel Valley District of the Women's Club and for being the recipient of the Music Scholarship Award for first place pop vocal. We wish you continued success on your academic endeavors. Now, who's going to sing? Okay. Why not? Okay. Where's my... No, yo no canto. Yo canto puras norteñas. Here you go. Oh, okay. Okay, with the name? Okay. Let's get with the program. All righty. Okay, where's Manny Carrillo? Oh, yeah, no. Oh, Manny, don't yet.
Pictures? At 3, 1, 2. Hold. More. Last one. With this camera. Okay.
Take 7.
Yes. 3, 1. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Did you guys want to share some words about the music? Tell us about the program. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I also want to thank all the ladies from the Women's Club, my fellow Women's Club members that put on this competition to give scholarships like this. We give out several scholarships to students from Baldwin Park High School as well as Sierra Vista. And we're able to send our young people on to university or college or to pursue their careers in music or other aspects of business. So congratulations to the ladies from the Women's Club.
Okay, the next one that we have the presentation of certificates of recognition to students from Sierra Vista High School and Ballpark High School for being selected this year's art winners by the Women's Club. So at this point, do we have everyone here? Want to go and read these out? Let's go. We're going to call your names. I'm coming up to the lectern. The dais.
Can we have Alice Corden come up? Alexander Torres, Sarai Maroquin, Cynthia Cheng, Denise Aguirre, Rafael Frausto, Celeste Gonzalez, Jenny Ho.
SB in the house?
Did we forget to invite him?
Okay, we have one. Come on up.
Diego Hernandez,
Come on up.
Jasmine Gadivia, Leslie Aguila, and I think that's the last one.
All righty, come on up. Come on up.
Again, this is a program that the Women's Club and Vivian Olivas Reyes is one of the people that works very hard, along with some of Margarita Vargas and some of the other ladies from the Women's Club that help put these scholarships and these awards together. So thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
Now, come on up here so you can display your. You want to talk about your pictures that you have each? Go ahead. You're right into this.
Hello. So the title of my picture is At Peace with Life. And what I really wanted to say was, thank you. The picture's in black and white because I wanted to represent the boy's mental state at the moment. He was kind of depressed. And I wanted to show that the paintbrush was actually painting life back into him, and that was him making peace with life. He was kind of becoming happy again and taking the initiative to continue moving forward.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Diego Hernandez, and my piece is called Time. It's a picture that I took at Metro Station, and it's actually where my dad works, so it's kind of like for him. And I would like to thank the Women's Club, the City Council for the recognition, and of course my parents for driving me everywhere and letting me take pictures. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh. Okay. But actually, let's show the picture. I want to see the picture. Yeah.
Put it behind.
Yeah. The more important. Come on in, everyone. The title, please.
Count 3. 1, 2, and here's 1, 2. Good. More. Okay. 3, 1.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I know.
All righty. Okay, so we got that. All right, the next one that we have is the presentation of certificate of recognition to the California Mental Health Connection in recognition of their service to the community by providing outpatient therapy to families, children, adolescents, and adult Baldwin Park. So is this a group? Yes. Yes, we have hold on. Going to play it now? Okay. My understanding, thank you. My understanding is that you have a video, I believe. Am I correct? Let's go. Are we ready to go, Mark, on that, please? Very important.
Hi, my name is Shashanka Chatrian. I'm a psychotherapist specialized in the treatment of depression and severe trauma. I work with individuals, couples, families, and adolescents. I help individuals cope with life's challenges such as death of a loved one, infertility, domestic violence, addiction, abuse, and further challenges that life may present. Today I would like to talk to you about domestic violence, the importance of it, give you some tips, give you some definitions, and provide you education on what you can do if you're caught up in a situation of domestic violence or you know somebody who is.
I heard about this really good place for lunch and thought we can go have Mexican food.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah. You know you can tell me what's going on.
Okay, well, you know, at home, it hit me. I'm just really scared to leave him. Think about the kids, and I don't have a job, so I depend on him. I don't know what to do anymore. I just feel confused. I need help. I don't know who to go to.
You don't have to go through that. I actually have a friend that works at a center. I can take you and go talk to her.
You know what? That would be a good.
Absolutely.
We define domestic violence as a pattern of abusive behavior by one partner who is trying to gain or maintain control and power over the other partner. Domestic violence can have different types such as physical, sexual, emotional, psychological, and financial abuse.
And like I was saying, it's just such a hassle because then my brother's car broke down, and we had to work on it on the side of the road, and water, no one would stop for us. It's just kind of a pain. I'm not talking to you. Who's on your phone? So I'm here. Who's texting me?
It's just a friend.
No. What did I tell you about that?
Why are you acting all crazy?
No, because this phone is not mine. You don't have any phone privileges.
Seriously?
Watch for personality changes such as more aggressive, moody, violent, or accusing behavior. If you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around your partner, constantly watching what you say and do in order to avoid a blow-up, chances are your relationship is unhealthy and abusive. So why does this matter? Why should we care about it? Because this is an issue affecting every community, regardless of age, race, ethnic background, religious background. Domestic violence can lead to physical pain, psychological trauma, and in a lot of cases it can lead to death. If not reported, domestic violence can last a lifetime. Hey girl. What's wrong? You don't want to talk about it? I don't want to know. Some important tips to take into consideration if you are in an abusive relationship or you know someone who is. Develop a plan of action and instruct your children about the plan if you have it. Locate a safe house, such as a home of a friend, family member, or a trusted individual. Lastly, I cannot stress it enough the importance of beginning counseling session. Those who are victims of domestic violence need therapy in their life. They need a supportive therapist. They need a therapist they can trust. At California Mental Health Connections, there are a variety of therapists who can assist you. We are nonprofit organizations located in Baldwin Park, as well as in Glen. Feel free to call us, make an appointment, and come see us.
All righty, you know what, let's go ahead and, first of all, I just want to say, this is a very important field, and of course, there's literally hundreds and thousands of individuals that are in need, and sometimes we stereotype them as, you know, not being normal or using whatever stereotype of name that you refer, but it's so important to be able to reach out and have counselors that specialize in particular discipline, because there's, as I indicated earlier, there are many that are in need. And I think some of our families in some cases don't understand, just simply want to place a person to the side and just think, well, you know what, they're just using the word crazy, unfortunately, I'll use that. And it's not until they're actually seen by your institution that you learn to understand and guide and assist and hopefully place them in a wellness type of a path as well. So I want to thank you on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park. I want to call you up as well, that you could share some words with us publicly here as we recognize you with the certificate. So if you wish to come up, please. Thank you. Oh, we don't have names.
Nice to see you.
And who's Elsa?
How are you? Thank you so much. Hi, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to have Sean talk to us about the actual program as well. If you'd like to come up, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who's here today present with us on this special recognition event. I'm extending my sincere gratitude to the Baldwin Park City for opening the doors to our agency and allowing us to provide mental health services to our community. In particular, I would like to thank our mayor, of course, and thank Mr. Shannon Yajzi and Mr. Manuel Carrillo for allowing us again to be part of this community and help those individuals who are suffering with mental health illnesses to be aware of the illness and be able to get help and support. And I would also like to thank Mr. Armando Nava, the director of the Terry Jumius Family Service Center, where we are located. And I would like to extend my gratitude to him and a special thank you from all our team. Just a little bit about our services. California Mental Health Connection has been open and running since 2009. We've been recognized by the state, on a federal level, and currently we're here in Baldwin Park and being recognized by the city, which is just wonderful for us. This is quite an accomplishment for our whole team, and it sparks a new drive in us to promote mental health, raise awareness, and help even more people in our community to live a healthy life by having a balanced mental health. And as you saw the video, that's a serious. So we are working on having another one where we can speak about variety of mental health issues. So thank you again to the city, and hopefully this video will be aired on a public channel where people will hear more about variety of mental health topics. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor? Okay. Okay, I have these two.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Elisa Jimenez. I'm very blessed. I'm going to be very short because I believe in the 13th commandment, which is "Thou not shalt bore the neighbor." So for this participation, I want to tell you that you all need an applause, because the statistics that we bring, the team that we brought, and when we met that the city council and the mayor, Manuel Lozano, and they saw what we were doing with the statistics, they opened the door. So this is for you guys. This is a change that is brought for you guys. And we're very, very honored to be here with all the people and friends that are with us. God bless you, and may we see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and read that. Okay. All right, so this reads in recognition of your collaboration and dedication to the residents and community members. We appreciate the partnership between your agency and the city staff working together to educate families on mental health awareness and for our outpatient services you provide to our community. Thank you for the favorable recognition you bring to the City of Baldwin Park. Thank you on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park. Also, we're have to, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, we're definitely going to do that. I guess this.
A third person.
Is there a third person? Or? Yes. Thank you. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and read out from State Senator.
Just really quickly, this is from Assemblymember Roger Hernandez, and it also reads, "In recognition of your outstanding service and steadfast dedication to ensuring our families and community members receive therapeutic program assistance, on behalf of the California State Assembly, we commend you for your work," and this certificate is for Elisa Jimenez. Sean Cantitarian, and for the organization itself. Thank you so much.
Did you wish to say some words? Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for honoring us. We are deeply grateful. And we wanted to extend our invitation. We have an hors d'oeuvre reception at our facility shortly after this event. So we just wanted to welcome you to attend. Thank you.
Oh, okay, excuse me. A little bit tighter, please. A little bit.
It's a good thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have to mix. Sean, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to have my staff so you could write an article in our newsletter throughout the city. So I'm going to have someone contact you, okay? So you guys could put a good article. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Just sharing what we want to do is we could coordinate Manny with them so that we submit an actual article on behalf of the actual institution as well, so that the residents could know. And this way you share your topics to the residents. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you want to mention the location, the address?
So we are located inside of Terry G. Muse Family Service Center. It is located at 14305 Morgan Street in Baldwin Park, and it's right behind the Morgan Street Park.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All righty. I think we have one more, which is the Harbor Day. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you. Is that the last one? Oh, I got it. Yes, it is. All right, the one that we have right now is the presentation of proclamation recognizing April 24th and 15th as National Arbor Day. Is anyone here to pick this up? I don't think we do. So I'll just read it. Arbor Day, April 24th and 15th. In 1872, J. Sterling proposed a Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the plants of trees, and the holiday is called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. Trees can reduce the emission of our precious topsoil by wind and water, lower our heating and cooling costs, moderate and temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitable wildlife. And trees are a renewable resource. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, I want to recognize April the 24th as Arbor Day. All righty. So at this point, I think that's the only item that we have left. I will now open up the public communication. Anyone wishing to speak, you have approximately 2 minutes. Thank you. Mr. Woods. Oh, excuse me, 3 minutes. Let me correct myself. 3 minutes. Sorry about that. Thank you, Alejandro.
Good evening.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Woods, I'm a 48-year resident. Well, I did something for 2 weeks that I have not been able to do for many years. I parked in front of my own house. And that's thanks to a concerned and caring city council. But it's been short-lived. For the past week, the same Badillo Circle cars have ignored those newly installed parking signs, and they're returning to park on the north side of Badillo. If for whatever reason the Badillo Circle people are unable to utilize their own on-site parking, then they're welcome to use those spots I used for many years quite a few blocks away from my house. Now that everyone concerned knows what's going on, I think we're due for another parking ticket sweep. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Woods. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Luna.
Hello, City Council.
Hello.
Baldwin Park residents, everybody. Mayor, Marlene, and the guy that never shows up, Mr. Pacheco. You people got to quit crying to the public about, I can get up here and say all this stuff and all this stuff. Why don't you just get off your chair and tell these people back here how much debt you two and that gentleman over there are going to leave us in debt with this Montebello project. I asked last time, and you guys just ignored me. You haven't brought anything out for the public to look at. What do we got to do? Drag you into a federal court or something to get answers from you guys? How much money have you given Montebello this year, and they've yet to build anything? You guys just don't get it up there. You people that do understand, fine, but these three do not understand English very well. This company is a nonprofit organization. You're going to let them build out of all the state money they can get, and then they're going to say, Marlene, Mr. Mayor, and Mr. Pacheco, here, I'm going to leave you guys with $20, $40, $50 million debt. You pay it. You know who's going to pay that? The mayor, Marlene, and Mr. Pacheco, and all these residents of Baldwin Park. And you expect us to sit here and say, you three have done such a great deal. You're tearing this city apart. You're giving the land free to these people, and you're giving them all the money they need. What's the matter with you three people? We put you up there. I didn't vote for you, so I'll tell you to your face. I didn't put you up there, but you don't deserve to be up there. You're going to cry after I finish my little speech because I only get 3 minutes, young man. But you get 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you another 15, 20, and you that never shows up, all the time you want to rebuttal what I got to say. But I've yet, look up here, we're wasting taxpayers' money putting this thing, and nobody can read half of it because it's 50 miles from our view. But that's okay. But you can't do 4th of July. What's the matter with you people? People put you in office so you could work for the city of Baldwin Park. You do not, and I may repeat that, you do not work for the city of Baldwin Park. Maybe 2 of you ladies do, but the rest of you 3, I don't know why in the heck you're even here. Mayor, you're going to get done as soon as I finish and start crying to this public. Well, Mr. Luna, you guys can get up here and criticize us. You do that every time somebody criticizes you, 3 people, or any of you, including everybody. You have minutes from 2012. That's how efficient you are, Mayor. You're a reject, plain reject. 2012, you were in office. What did you do? You let this young lady over here take all that paperwork and trash through it, and heaven knows what the hell we gave away from in this city while she was looking through all this. But you guys are barely passing it now. You don't have the gall, Mayor, to stand up and tell these people that you're 3 years behind in some of this paperwork, but you will criticize Mr. Luna because he's talked out in front of you. First thing you're going to tell them, well, everybody has a constitutional right. We have that right.
Thank you very much.
You ought to resign, period.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And again, let me just, for the record, those residents that are brand new here, I definitely will correct this gentleman. I'll talk about, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt. Thomas Carey, former resident of Baldwin Park. I noticed when you're giving out the plaques, why they're not have the city's original seal on them, the hub. That should be done by now. And also, I've heard they're going to have fireworks in July. What are you going to do for the 60th anniversary next year? That money would be better spent on that. That's a big deal. Yeah. Should be planning for that now. I know it's April. That's only, 8 months away. It'll be here quick as a whip. So I think the money would be better spent on that for the benefit of the whole city rather than spending that money on fireworks just to burn it up into the air. I don't know. Somebody told me that somewhere in the city they cut off the tops of the trees. I haven't seen it myself, but it's not healthy for trees to do that. I was going to roast Mr. Pacheco, but I guess he heard I was coming. This has to do with the Brookshire firm that is here now, Berkshire, however it's said. They're already here. There's no reason to bring in any firms from outside unless, of course, there's campaign contributions. I don't mean the kind with the check. I mean the ones with the money under the table kind. That all politicians, well, a lot of them get money like that. So I wanted to cover that, let these people know that they have a firm already here looking at the finances of the city. There's no need to go back and start all over with that. His insistence at the last meeting that they bring in 2 or 3 places, you already have a place to do that, unless there's campaign money or something there. I know this is an election year for some of you. I don't remember which ones, but I don't live here. I'm not a party to that. I also want to remind the mayor, I'd still like a copy of that transcript. I just want to go through it for my own review, refresh my memory on that stuff, and then also some other pages that, speaking of the mayor, your little friend posted about your housing and all that from 11 years ago, regurgitating the past. That's all over and done with. People buy houses all the time below market and rehab them and stuff. I don't know what's so unusual about that. But I guess for some, when you're a target of things, you get roasted. Also, I want to make a correction that I said that the city didn't pay that money like they were supposed to. I was corrected on that, as well as giving all the documents to this Mr. we know Mr. Cook.
Thomas, your 3 minutes
Okay.
are up.
Right, Thomas, thank you very much. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
Wanted to make sure I got that in. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, move along with public communication. Yep, go ahead. Come up, anyone. Good evening.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jim Fry, and I'm a renter in Baldwin Park at 4040 Padillo Circle. I'm against this parking permit. I feel you are discriminating against renters because you are providing personal parking for homeowners on a public street who already have driveways and garages. We don't. And there are more renters than there are homeowners. You want us to park 2 to 3 blocks away and walk to our residence, but would you like your wife or daughter at 10 o'clock at night who came home from the store, would you feel safe if they parked 2 or 3 blocks away? And wouldn't you be worried about their safety if they were walking back to their residence? If I have to move, I will, to put my family in a more safer environment. And if I would move to a better city that cares about their renters as much as they do as the homeowners. But you will have a revenue loss because of that. Because if I move out of Baldwin Park, I'm not going to come to your city and go to the grocery store. I'm not going to come to your city and go to the restaurant. So you would lose revenue because of that. Now, if you times that by few hundred people, that starts adding up. And you know, I'm not a lowlife because I rent and I can't afford a house. I've lived at that property for 9 years, and there's people that lived there twice as long as me. And I imagine there's a lot of people that are renting at that property that's been there longer than the homeowners across the street. And you know what? If homeowners have guests over, guess what? They can't park on the north side, so they're going to be taking up our side even more space. And that's going to be their guests, and that's just wrong. In conclusion, we don't have to protest you or petition you. We could just take this to the social media or the news. Because do you really want people hear how the Baldwin Park City Council favors homeowners and discriminates against the renters? It's just not fair. So we need your help. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Juno Trujillo with LA Voice in St. John the Baptist here in Baldwin Park. And I'm here today to bring to your attention a couple of things that have been happening in the neighboring city of Irwindale that pertain not only to that city, but to all of the surrounding cities, including Baldwin Park. So I don't know if you're aware that the city of Irwindale is in the process of expanding a toxic waste plant right next to the Santa Fe Dam, and which, of course, we know that it's the most important ecological and recreational area in the San Gabriel Valley. So the community is very concerned about this toxic plant, not only because, well, first of all, because of, you know, it's right next to the Santa Fe Dam. We are worried about the quality of the air. We're worried about the quality of the water. If something happens, there's a lot of questions in the air, and the community is very concerned because I'm sure many of us have, you know, go to the Santa Fe Dam. We go biking. We do a lot of stuff there, and you know, there's a lot of organizations that are also concerned, but mostly the residents of Baldwin Park, the residents of El Monte, the residents of, you know, all the surrounding cities. And we have been going to the council meetings in Irwindale, asking the city council over there to have a community forum or something where the community can come together and start asking all these questions. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of things about the environmental impact report that about the permit that the DTSC issued. There's a lot of questions, so the community wants answers, and we are here to ask the City Council, the Baldwin Park City Council, to help us ask the City of Irwindale to have this community forum. So we want to have a community forum, and we need your help. Maybe helping us push this with the City of Irwindale. So I wanted to ask anyone who's here to talk about the Santa Fe Dam and the toxic plant to stand up. Si todos los que vinieron por la planta tóxica se pueden parar, por favor. So Baldwin Park residents are here to ask you for your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And just real quick before you start, just want to let both the gentleman that spoke, the renter, and also the individuals referencing the actual toxic issue. I will address those, and some of the council members may have some other questions as well once we finish the public communication. All right. All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening, council and residents. My name's Diana. I'm here from the office of Assemblymember Roger Hernandez. I just wanted to announce that he will be hosting his community coffee in the city of Azusa. He will be discussing new legislation and any updates as well. So if you guys want to go ahead and have state your concerns or have questions, please go ahead and join us. There are some flyers in the back for your convenience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Moving along with public communication. Good evening.
Good evening, Council.
evening.
My name is Fernanda Sandoval, and as a teen, I'm very concerned about this hazardous waste facility. Of course, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be affected, including our water, our residential areas, the Santa Fe Dam, and particularly our schools, which will be 1.5 miles away from this facility. So basically, because of these effects, we are basically already involved with all the detrimental events that will occur and will affect this and many other communities around the area. So now, let's make it official and push not just the city of Irwindale, but also other neighboring cities like Azusa, Covina, La Puente, Duarte, West Covina, to get involved as well, because this also affects their residents, because a lot of residents, not only from Irwindale, but also from Baldwin Park and all these other cities, visit the Santa Fe Dam daily. So please stand up for our community, and your people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Good evening.
Buenas tardes a
Buenas
todos.
tardes.
¿Puedo pedir
You know,
a una persona?
yeah, you know what? Hold on. Let me get someone to translate.
I want to choose my translate, please.
Okay,
I
muy
want
bien.
to-
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, Julie.
Alejandra, you want to go and translate, please?
I can translate if you want.
¿Está bien? Okay, all right. Gracias.
Quiero hacer este mensaje en español por
Muy bien.
respeto también a las
Muy bien.
personas residentes que están aquí esta tarde.
Yeah, she wants to say it in Spanish because there's
Fine.
a lot of people who
That's
understand
fine.
Spanish.
Estoy aquí para pedirles a ustedes respetuosamente por todo el trabajo que han hecho y que siguen haciendo por nuestra comunidad. Quiero pedirles que se solidaricen con nuestra comunidad en este asunto que es muy importante para el medio ambiente, para la gente en su salud, sí, y un efecto muy importante que va a tener si esta planta de reciclajes tóxicos se establece en nuestra área, no importa qué ciudad es.
Okay, go ahead.
So yes, we want to ask you to join us in what we're asking for about the toxic plant, because we know it's going to have negative effects in people's health and the environment.
Medio ambiente. Okay. De otro asunto que es muy importante es, quiero preguntarles si realmente quieren involucrarse en este asunto. Necesitamos escuchar de ustedes un compromiso y la otra, queremos saber primero si se van a comprometer con este asunto.
So we want to ask you, we want to have a specific, an answer by the end of tonight, and we want to know if this is something you can commit to.
Y la otra situación, ustedes tienen mejor relación pública con las personas, con los City Council members de otras ciudades, y queremos que ustedes hagan esa conexión con la ciudad de Azusa, los electos de esa ciudad, con la ciudad de Duarte, con la ciudad del Monte, con la ciudad de La Puente, Huescovina, Covina y más, con más relación con nuestra comunidad, más conexión.
So we want you to be our voice. We want you to help us connect with the surrounding cities, since you already have a relationship with the other council members of different cities.
Otros concejales de otras ciudades. Nosotros necesitamos que ustedes, como dijo Fernanda, que ustedes pongan su cara enfrente de esta situación que está afectando tanto a nuestra comunidad. No queremos que pase lo que pasó con el agua, que fue contaminada y ahorita está costando, o ha costado millones de dólares limpiar el agua que tiene que ser potable.
So the quality of our water is already kind of bad already, and we know it's cost us a lot of money and time in cleaning it up. So we don't want it to get worse.
Sabemos que esta compañía que se quiere establecer, Cleantech, se quiere establecer en la ciudad de Irwindale. Ellos están tomando una decisión que va a beneficiar a su comunidad monetariamente, pero no va a beneficiar a su comunidad en el medio ambiente, en la salud de toda la población. Pero nosotros queremos también ser parte de esa decisión, porque somos parte de una comunidad, no importa el código postal o el nombre de la ciudad en la que vivimos. Somos californianos, somos el Valle de San Gabriel y somos esta comunidad de Baldwin Park.
So we know that for them to build this plant, it's going to bring revenue to the city, but we want to make sure that the community is being heard, because we're all one community. It's not about Irwindale or Baldwin Park. We're all one community.
Estoy contando son como 5 ciudades las que tienen que ser envueltas, las que están más cerca del Irwindale, son City Council members. So quiero que por favor cada uno de ustedes tome una ciudad, haga esa conexión y se unan y se levanten por esta comunidad que está apoyándolos y que está sirviendo a la misma comunidad.
So we're asking for each one of you to be our champion at one of each of the surrounding cities, maybe Azusa, West Covina, each one of you, and of course for the residents of Baldwin Park.
Esto tiene sentido de urgencia, nada más tienen 2 semanas para hacer ese trabajo. Por favor, háganlo y esperamos esa respuesta positiva de ustedes. Gracias.
This is urgent and we're expecting a positive answer from you guys. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jennifer Allen, and I wanted to address the new overnight parking restrictions located on the north side of Badillo Street. I manage an 88-unit complex at 4040 Badillo Circle. These new changes will hurt our existing and future rental business. Parking is already my #1 reason why people don't rent with us. My residents currently have a lengthy walk from Badillo Street to their apartments. The parking situation was known upon move-in. We do not allow our parking spots to be used for broken down cars or storage areas. The majority of our residents have 2 or more cars. The excess amount of cars is approximately 70 and must be parked on public streets. With the elimination of parking on the north side of Badillo Street, my residents now have to park down Willow, past the skate park, or further down on the Badillo side of West Covina. 27 houses on Badillo all have 2-car garages. 7 have driveways that fit 2 to 4 cars. It is the homeowner's decision not to use their parking areas, yet we are the ones being punished. They purchased homes on a busy street with a school, condos, apartment buildings, and a shopping center. Parking issues are a given, just like our residents knew what the parking situation was before deciding to move in. It was explained to me that the homeowners complained about not being able to park in front of their homes. 7 of the houses not able to put their trash cans curbside. Cars parking too close together, cars parked for days, and litter on their lawns. Restrict parking Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can eliminate the trash curbside issue and cars being parked for days. Go back to having our streets cleaned weekly. These are high traffic areas and they have become pretty dirty. Add trash cans at the beginning, middle, and end of the street. Some of my residents have parked their cars for a few days, but the homeowners do the same. As I speak, there's a white Mitsubishi that hasn't moved since last Monday, but they do have their new parking permit in their window. A lot of cities have a cross or corners painted on the street to identify the beginning and end of a parking space. This will eliminate cars from being parked too close together. Preferential parking districts were not designed for an area such as this one. The city found a loophole and decided to use it. These restrictions were not well thought out. If you issue parking permits, issue them to all the residents. We will be more than happy to pay for them. Permits will stop non-residents from parking overnight. Make it fair for all of our residents.
Hello, good evening. I'm a resident of the 4040 Badillo Circle for 10 years, and I have an issue with the parking because I have multiple cars, and since I've been there, it's never been an issue, and I don't know why it's an issue now. And you guys have better things to do than worry about where people are parking. This is home to us, just like it's home to the people that's making these complaints, and I've only seen one person that's making a complaint. And not only myself, I have an elderly mom that she also has to walk a great distance just to get back to our apartment. So you guys need to reconsider this parking or come to some type of resolution to where we can all share the public parking outside of our residence. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Baby.
Good evening, distinguished members of the
Good evening.
board.
Good evening.
My name is Jonathan Huff, just like everybody else. I live at 4040 Badillo Circle. As you see, I'm an executive chef. I come home very late, and as it is, parking is very hard. So coming home, again, safety is an issue, but you know, I have noticed that our police have done a fabulous job of really doing a great deed of cleaning up the street. I haven't seen a lot of things going on at night, but again, with people coming home late, as far as a mother with her child or just a teenage daughter, it's an issue for me as well. I have two pre-adults that they have to park on the street to come in at night, one being a female and the other being a male. So you never know what can happen when you come home at night. So again, I don't think it's a great idea that we do this permit parking, and I think we just should be able to all share as we have through years. My grandparents were residents of Baldwin Park for 75 years. I have, that's Lewis and Dorothy Lockridge. They have a lot of ties with the city. And throughout the city, I've never seen anywhere in the city where we've had permitted parking. It's always been like this for years. Other cities have done it because they feel they have to do it. I don't think we should have to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es María Guadalupe Pérez y estoy aquí también sobre la planta de residuos tóxicos.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Guadalupe Perez, and I'm here to talk about the recycle of plant.
También quiero pedirles ayuda, no solamente como residente, sino como mamá, porque yo estoy batallando con mi hija desde que tenía 1 año de edad y ahora tiene 11 años y ella ha batallado sus 10 años con enfermedad de asma y alergias. Entonces no solamente quiero hablar por mi hija, sino por todos los niños residentes de todas estas ciudades.
And I'm here today because I would like you to ask you for your help, because I have been battling with my daughter who has been suffering with asthma, and I am here to talk on behalf of my daughter and other children.
Nosotros como padres sufrimos con ellos este tipo de enfermedades. Ustedes saben que va a contaminar tanto el aire como el agua y eso va a perjudicar mucho la salud de ellos. Entonces, lo que sí queremos son niños saludables. Ustedes saben que son nuestro futuro y queremos un buen ambiente.
As parents, we are constantly concerned for the health of our children, and what we want is for our children to be healthy and maintain themselves healthy. And as you may already know, this will contaminate our environment.
Les pido que escuchen, que nos apoyen y esperamos contar con ustedes. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Veronica Monson. I'm a resident at 4040 Badillo. I've been living there for 7 to 8 years now, and I've never had a problem with the parking outside. I've known firsthand that when I moved in, there was going to be a little bit of problem because there are a lot of us renters there, but we've never had an issue until this has happened for the last week or two. And my husband works really early. He's a truck driver and works in Mariloma. He has to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and most times I have to shuttle him. I have to shuttle my own husband to his car early in the morning, and that's been a real problem. And I can only do this when my sister is in town and she spends the night. So, because I have 3 little kids at home, so most days he has to walk down to the school, and it's pretty far. It's late. It's for the same concerns that my other fellow neighbors have is the walking, the issue at night. So I just hope this is addressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ricardo, as a resident of Baldwin Park City. Tonight, I'm here to ask you your support once again concerning about the new plant that they're trying to build up here in the city of Irwindale. I think this, as a parent of a teenager, is really, I'm getting really worried about it. Why? Because not only my kid, but too many of our kids, they go and they have their training over there in Santa Fe Dam. So this one is going to affect really seriously to our kids. So please consider it, and I hope that we can have your support with us. All the time, when you guys have the chairs, you come to our community and ask for support. So tonight, we come to you guys and ask for your support, please. So we count with you guys, and hopefully that you guys do something for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Manuel Hernandez. I am a community organizer with Save the Santa Fe Dam Recreational Campaign. And I just wanted to echo what your residents have been saying. I live in Los Angeles, but I frequent the recreational area. And this was brought to my attention a few months ago that a hazardous waste facility by the name of Clean Tech Environmental is currently operating in the city of Irwindale. And while that is not your jurisdiction, obviously, we ask for your support in participating, in getting involved, and reaching out to the elected leaders of your neighboring cities and trying to find some common ground and figuring out why this facility obtained permits to expand to be able to treat up to 1.5 million gallons of used motor oil, antifreeze, and other hazardous waste that surrounding cities will not accept. They obtained this permit through the Department of Toxic and Substances Control, and we are bringing into question the draft EIR that was presented that indicates that there will be zero impact to the environment, to the community, to the earth, to the air from the expansion of this facility. And it raises a lot of red flags, and we are putting pressure on the elected leaders in the city of Irwindale, and we ask for your leadership, as we will ask for the leadership in neighboring cities to stand together and be the champions and have a voice for the residents of Baldwin Park, and making sure that this toxic facility does not expand and continue to impact the health community here in the city of Baldwin Park and surrounding cities. Thank you.
John Rios, resident. One of the things that I've been hearing the gentleman and the ladies that have been talking about the parking situation. Can you imagine if you guys let Montebello go over there and put some more apartments over there? It's going to be bad enough with the Rome project, you know. Everybody that rents or anything, I used to be a renter a long time ago. I have my own house, thank God. But you guys have to understand, you know, we get a renter, most of the renters have 2 cars. Some of them have 3 because they have a teenage girl or boy, you know. So can you guys imagine, you guys go ahead and let Montebello persons go over there and try and build some apartments right there, or housing, whatever they want to call, okay? Another thing is that we're always putting other agendas into place, but we're not putting our main agendas. Let's put the contract for the employees of the city and the contract for the police department. We've been running around for the past, 6 months, that we need to do some for them, you know. One of the things I've noticed too, Mayor, Shannon, when people are talking over here, I expect you guys to put attention on what they're saying, not conversate between both of you, okay? So, and another thing is that we're going to permit for another liquor store just down the street from here. We're going to give them the permit for drive-through. We have enough liquor stores. But what is the planning commission doing about this? The way I heard it, they voted it in. So it's something that, you know, the city councils, I don't think you guys should pass it. Okay? That's about it right now.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Kimberly, and I am a tenant at 4040 Badillo Circle. I have only been a tenant in the city of Baldwin Park for a little over a year. Have lived in the city of Pasadena prior, and the city of West Hollywood, which both have city parking permits available to the tenants who live there. Have never come across a city where permits are only permitted to be purchased by homeowners. I'm not against the permit parking. I only ask that you allow everyone to purchase permits. The city would revenue greatly with that. 66 units, 3 cars. You know, we have 3 cars. Most people have more than 2 cars. If you allow everyone to purchase a permit and allow city parking to be first come, first serve for everybody. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Angelina, and I'm a resident of Baldwin Park for over 30 years. And I live close by the Santa Fe Dam, walking distance, and I've always felt pretty lucky that I live so close, because I would take off with my children and my grandchildren and go hiking, biking, swimming, fishing, and it is a great place to enjoy a family. It's a recreational place, and many families do this. But so when I found out about this hazardous waste facility so close to it, I could not believe it. I said, what are these people thinking? You know, the risk is far too great. The potential for a catastrophe to happen to this building there, I mean, the water, the lake, the wildlife, I mean, it's there, and for us to think that nothing's going to happen, I mean, we can't take that risk. So I'm here to appeal to you. Please help us, support us in trying to save the Santa Fe Dam. It's there for our enjoyment, and this is too risky. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Hi. My name is Vancine Wilson. I live at 4040 Badillo Circle, and I'm addressing the no permit that's on one side of the street. And my thing is, if it's a public street, we should, as tenants and residents of the area, should be able to get a permit as well. My son came to visit me on Easter, and he parked there, and he parked there before, and he woke up to a ticket. Thank God for Baldwin Park Police, and they vacated it. But we should be able to get a permit as well. It shouldn't be just one-sided. It should be for all residents, and I'm willing to pay for a permit as well. Also, all of the residents in 4040 will buy the permit as well. So consider it as fair for all, not just one-sided. I understand their position, but it's a public street, and we all pay taxes. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. Carol Woods, homeowner, business owner. These people don't realize that we don't have driveways. They've talked about all of us having driveways to park our cars. There's only 6 houses down by Puente that have driveways. The rest of us don't. And we have a lot of people that live on our block that are disabled. And we come home at night, we haven't been able to park in front of our house in a long, long time. And it's kind of nice. Even when I was in the hospital and came home, we couldn't even park in front of our house. We parked on Pin Oak, and I was in a wheelchair. But that was okay. These people, they park in their at their apartments, and they park all on Badillo Circle, and they park on the south side from Puente all the way to the West Covina line, and they still park over on our side. And I think we deserve to be able to park in front of our houses. We pay property taxes, and we've been there many years, and I don't believe that they think we don't have rights either. They think they should have all, but that's not true. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Zeddy Monzon. I'm also a resident of 4040 Badillo. The parking should be available for everyone. It is a public street. I understand of the homeowners. I mean, hopefully one day I'll be blessed to own my own home, and I'm going to make sure that if I'm going to go ahead and buy a home, and if it's in a very public street, main street for that matter, that I'm going to be aware of the parking situation. And if I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to get a permit because of maybe the non-residents that don't live either on Badillo or on the houses to have permits, then it should be available for everyone to have a permit. You know, like I said, this will make it fair for everyone. You know, and everybody understands the parking situation. When I was getting in there and renting, I looked around and I said, oh, there's going to be a parking situation. My guests have a problem coming when they come, and it's just something that they have to deal with whenever they come, but they really don't come anymore because of the whole parking situation. Okay, all that being said is it should be made fair for everyone to have a parking permit. If you guys are going to go ahead and start giving out and blocking, you know, the side of the street where the homes are. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just wanted to have my 2 cents in regards to the Santa Fe Dam. Actually, I want all angles to be looked at, and I'm not sure, no one's mentioned in regards to the Renaissance Pleasure Fair that visits us annually. And I would hate to see such a beautiful, wonderful event leave us in regards, or just because of waste and because of a smell and all the bikers that we get, all the business and revenue we get due to another city. So it's important to look at all angles, and so I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, moving along with public communication.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Carmen Caminos. I am a resident of 4040 Badillo Circle. And with all due respect to this lady who spoke earlier, I don't like to be referred to as these people. We are residents of Baldwin Park. We pay taxes. We shop here. Our children go to school here. I believe that if there are public streets, everybody should have access to them. If someone would like, to sell us permits, I'm willing to purchase one. Yes, there is a problem with parking, but that's just life. When you buy a home, you pay for your home. You do not pay for the street. Okay, I know you pay taxes. We all pay taxes, but we should all be able to use the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, move along with public communication. Mr. Tuttle.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Greg Tuttle, business owner. Well, we told you it was going to come, didn't we? Rome's here. You hear these apartment building people? 2 to 3 cars. Where are you going to put them? Now, you haven't told everybody that Mayor, Monica, and Pacheco all want to bring in Montebello housing and put them right there on the end, right there on Badillo and Ramona. You haven't told these people yet. They don't even have a clue that's coming. You want to talk parking problems? Wait till you got the business owners and these apartment people and the homeowners looking for parking spaces. They'll have to drive down to the transit park. Oh, wait a minute. That's going to be full because you got all the Rome people here. And you only sold them 70 spots. This is a joke. You make housing, you got to have parking. You people don't think ahead of the time. You only think of the money and dollars you're bringing in. Rome is a loser. We lost money on everything we're going to do with Rome, plus a 30-year note for nothing. We need to start thinking ahead for the future. These people, if they pay for a parking permit, what good's that going to do? We're right back to the same square one. Everybody's fighting for parking. I understand the homeowners. They pay property tax. Apartment people do not pay property tax. So they have first choice. So they should get a parking space in front of their house. And Mayor, you own one of those houses on Ken Oak. It has an alley in the back. And most of these people can't park in those alleys. They can't leave their cars in the alley. It's against the law. They get a ticket. If they can't park in front of their house, where else are they going to park? Well, then they fight for parking or go down on the side streets. The other thing is, we had an issue with the Berkshire thing. I was sorry that I had to leave early the last time, but I had to work late that night, so I didn't get to make my spiel. But with Mr. Pacheco here with this Berkshire deal, this guy charges a percentage. It doesn't cost us a dime if he doesn't save us money. But no, everybody wants to look somewhere else. Everybody wants to pay to have a consultant come in and tell you to save money. You people need to understand, it's much better to pay a small percentage to save hundreds of thousands of dollars than it is to pay a consultant that maybe you might save money. I don't know where your thinking is, but somebody better start waking up. Negotiations, you've got almost 2 years here, and you've got nothing to show for it, other than right back to the drawing board. This is, I can't even tell you. I'm so mad at the way you guys have handled it. You need to wake up, and you need to start treating these people, give them what was promised, make sure that these contracts are done, quit putting all this BS on your agenda, your special agendas. Pay attention to what you're supposed to be doing, taking care of the people here and the residents and the workers. That's not what's happening here. And negotiations are being done by people that aren't qualified. You need to bring in the qualified. You'll hire a consultant to do anything, a consultant to save us money, but you won't hire a consultant to do negotiations, which is their job.
Mr. Tuttle.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Tuttle. Appreciate that. All right. At this point, we're going to public communication. Continues. Good evening.
I'm Margarita Vargas, 14129 Ohio Street. I just want to remind you again about the street lights in Ohio and Baldwin Park Boulevard and La Rica and Los Angeles Street. In the morning, I had to cross my granddaughter to Baldwin Park Boulevard. Baldwin Park Boulevard. She goes to Santa Fe. Sometimes I prefer to drive my car for half a block because I feel more safe driving the car than walking in the cross guard, even though they have a crossing guard. The cars don't stop. Sometimes the big trucks, I say, oh, they're going to stop. They don't. So it's really dangerous, and the school year is almost over. So I just wondering, when are they going to be put those lights? Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
Alton
Good evening.
Ferris,
Good evening.
members of the council, good evening. I'm glad that 4040 Badillo Circle brought in their entire crowd, and it's good to show their effort. However, please note, it was mentioned that we're the only ones with parking permits. If you look around West Covina, Glendora, Claremont, they all offer or some of the permits are free. They mentioned about people coming for Easter, they came over here, the next morning they got a ticket. I have not reviewed the ordinance for the city of Baldwin Park. I have no idea what they say. However, I think it's preferred, and I know that the people from 4040 is going to beat me up, but the priority should be to the people not only that pay taxes for purchasing. We pay taxes for home ownership. And when people rent, they should realize that they get 1 parking space, 2 parking spaces, and there's 2 3-bedroom apartments. And this is the issue we've been having. A 2 or 3-bedroom apartment should have 2 or 3 parking spaces, which they're not offered. So I sympathize, I understand. I've also been in the community for over 50 years here in Baldwin Park. So when you rent, you need to look at that. I'm not against you guys, I understand that, but maybe the ordinance should say if you're having visitors, you should be able to come to City Hall and request for a permit, whether it's $5, whether it's free, that I'm bringing people over, my parents are coming, and so on and so forth. That should be looked at. Maybe talk to your renter who's renting to you about the potential privileges that you may have in your community. And I still believe that no offense, but I still believe that the residents pay a little bit more taxes because we do pay property taxes, whereas you guys don't. And it's not anything against you, please understand that. But we should have the priority of our parking in our own parking in front of our parking spaces, like you should have it in front of your facility. And you guys forgot that you also park in front of the Baldwin Park High School in the back of the parking lot. I've seen it every day or most of the evening, so they're also utilized. And on the other hand, we do have, as president of Valley County Water District, we do have clean, potable water. We are looking into the toxic waste dump, and we definitely going to be looking into it. We haven't agendized it, but again, we will look at it to make sure that our water is not polluted whatsoever. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Al. Appreciate that. All right, moving along with public communication. Anyone else wishing to speak? Yeah. Oh, no, the only one time. Sorry about that. All right. Anyone else? Okay, come on up. Thank you.
Hello, council members. My name is Eric
Good evening.
Cerrone.
Good evening.
I'm 19 years old, and I've been a resident of Baldwin Park my whole life. And it just seems like a shame, and it's really disheartening to hear that Irwindale is planning to set up a toxic waste cleaning facility, recycling facility near such a, it's part of our community. Santa Fe Dam is part of our community, and I think that we're very lucky to have that here, and I think that Baldwin Park should serve as an example to neighboring cities as leaders in trying to take control and protect the environment rather than polluting it more than it already has. I think the evidence of climate change, polluting of the waters, I think is a big issue, and it should be addressed. And the fact that they've been able to set up with getting this permit, it seems kind of suspect to me, so I just want to voice my concern over that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, if not, at this point, I will now declare the public communication closed. At this point, real quick, need to read off some were required by the state. This is to announce as required by the Government Code Section 54954.3. Members of the City Council are also members of the Board of Directors of the Housing Authority and the Finance Authority. which are concurrently convening with the city council this evening, and each council member is paid an additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting, and also the $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. I want to, first of all, address some of the issues that were brought here. Maybe very short with the first gentleman that stepped up here, and of course, this is Monica Garcia, not Marlene Garcia, just to make that clear. Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco, that's not here tonight. It's unfair for comments to be made. The Constitution of this great country affords each and every one of you, and I know you don't like to hear that, allows anyone to come up here and fabricate information, meaning not true. And the unfortunate part, this is what this particular individual does, without researching, without looking at empirical data, other than simply, his personal opinion. And he's entitled to that. And as a mayor, as a council members, we respect his personal opinion. And once again, to make it very clear, all of the electeds that are here, we live in Baldwin Park, and we're required by law, as every mayor and every council in every city throughout the United States. So I'm going to actually spare you for even going even further and negative in that perspective. Let me also say to all the individuals that live on Badillo Circle, I live very close to that particular area, and I know the amount of traffic that congests all those particular areas. And there are many concerns from the residents that are valid, the homeowners, and they're valid in what they're saying here today. And I want to also validate each and every one of you as renters, so that at least we have equal parity and understanding the circumstances. For one, give a little history on that particular project. In 1962, Badillo Circle was built. It was built and designed with 87 apartment units, 130 parking spaces. Currently, right now, 2015, there are only approximately 107 parking spaces. Mind you, 1962, the resolution read 87 units with 130 parking spaces. We obviously know that does not exist at this particular point. That means that every renter should be afforded 1.5 parking spaces in that particular facility. Now, as the mayor of Baldwin Park, I want to make it very clear to each and every one of you that I'm going to ask staff to look at the archives as to what transpired from 1962 to whatever the case may be. Something or may have possibly been built without knowing, of course, and taken up those particular spaces, meaning 23 parking spaces are currently missing. So the owner of this particular property, and I believe the actual manager that you're here, am I correct? If you could raise your hand and leave your number so that we also follow. So this way, there's equal parity in the homeowners, property taxpayers, and the renters as well, so that you understand and that we ourselves can at least look at what transpired. And if the actual, some of the archive plannings, or if the owners could provide the plans so the city could have access to look at that. What happened to those parking spaces? Am I clear on that? Am I clear on that? Just want to make sure that you guys are aware so that we at least get to the actual problem that is concerning for each and every one of you. And that's very important. Now, yes, it is required for permits that have gone into effect for all the individuals that are parked north of Badillo. Now, south of Badillo, of course, that can be occupied by all the renters or residents as well. And it's important. Now, we are currently going to give, or no, not cite anyone until, I believe it's the second week of May. Am I correct, Chief?
Is this working? Oh.
Is it the second week of May that we begin to
the last 2 weeks?
The last 2 weeks of May that we will actually begin to cite. So what I want to let all the individuals that are here today, that we're going to keep in touch with you so that we ourselves find out where those additional 23 parking spaces got lost in between the actual project that in 1962 required 130 parking spaces. And it's important for us to note that. Now, I do hear your concern. I don't want you to move from Baldwin Park. I want to continue to be here because we are all part of the same family that want to live in tranquility and share, and of course, parking. What I also want to clarify that we're going to meet with the Baldwin Park Unified School District to see if there's a probability for the Badillo Circle renters to utilize all those parking spaces along the school. And I believe about 2 months ago that was occurring, and I don't think it's occurred now. So I don't know what happened. So I want to let everyone know. The first thing we're going to look at is the actual plannings from 1962. What happened to those parking spaces? Two, we're going to look at seeing if the Ballpark Unified School District can facilitate some parking along that asphalt area along Badillo. I believe some of you are familiar with that area. So want to see if there's a probability of utilizing those, and we'll have to figure out how we can do that. Now, I cannot guarantee you this particular proposal because, again, the Ballpark Unified School District is separate from the local municipal government. We are going to be in touch with you, and if it requires for us to reconvene, whether it be there at Badillo Circle or here, we're going to do that because I hear each and every one of you, and I do see a lot of you as you're going out in the mornings, and the competition of the lack of parking spaces throughout those particular areas. So I want to make that very clear that we will have a follow-up. I'm directing staff to look into what I requested as well. So the third subject that was also discussed about the toxicity proposed expansion plan. Let me make one thing very significant that each and every one of you. I support it. I'm an avid runner. I run at that Santa Fe Dam 2 days out of the week, Saturday, Sunday, early in the morning. I'm out there and go right through that particular area. Now, if you ever run, which would be on the east end along the 605, run through there, and you'll pick up all that fumes and odor because it's literally affected me. So now I have to change myself, run in the interior of the actual dam. Some council members may have a difference of opinion, so I'm not going to speak on each and every one of them. So what I will do, and we cannot vote on it tonight because we have to agendize it, and that's required by city ordinance, and it's the law. I will support that I will oppose the project, and we will do whatever we can to send it off to the council members from the city of Irwindale. And it's important for every one of us. Now, that's one. Let me see the second one where we're going to ask a whole entire community to come out. Several years ago, maybe 4 to 5 years ago, they're still in their books, to propose to place what's referred to as a MRF, which is a materials recovery facility. The proposal of this particular project is to be built, if you go up Main Avenue, make a left, and it kind of subdivides right in that whole area. I believe it's about maybe 5 or 6 acres or more. There's a proposal to bring in an actual materials recovery facility. That means all the trash throughout the whole region, San Gabriel Valley, will be brought there and will be sorted out. Now they're talking about having these high sophisticated type of filtrations that you will not get any smell. No, I don't believe that. And that's where I'm going to need everyone that's here in protest against that we're going to call upon you to help this city as well oppose that project. It will bring, or the cost is around $22 to $23 million. The city in turn, of course, every city is looking for revenue. They're expected to bring in close to $3 million to the city coffers. So I understand what they're doing. Azusa, I'll give you City of Irwindale. Azusa, an example, place a similar type of material recovery facility right in the corner of Irwindale Boulevard and Gladstone. Now, the residents of Irwindale protested against the facility as well. And we acknowledge that in support of not having that there. But interesting enough how that went in there. Now they're possibly proposing the one here. We're going to keep, yes, exactly. That is waste management. And the one that proposed here will be by Athens. So we're definitely going to oppose that. And I hear every one of you. It's almost like we're having this toxic type of pollution being built around these communities here. And that potentially it can be hazardous to a lot of individuals. And yes, close to over $1 billion has literally been invested in the San Gabriel Valley because of the perchlorate that was spilled by a jet fuel corporation in the Azusa area that has literally contaminated a lot of areas. There are the total of 9 water wells in the city of Ballpark. Only 4 are operating. Is I correct on that? Is there 4 currently that are operating? And there was certain certain wells that had to be shut down because of the actual perchlorate. That not only affected Baldwin Park, but affected also the neighboring communities. So enough of these toxic places. We need to stop them, and I'm definitely going to be there. However, it has to be agendized, meaning it has to be brought back to the next meeting, and we will vote to support. Again, there may be differences of opinion, but I'm just saying as mayor, I will support each and every one of you. All right, so at that point, I want to end. I'm going to allow the council members. Go ahead. Thank you. At this point, the Vice Mayor Cruz Baca. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, I attended the Irwindale Council
yeah,
meeting last
I didn't know
Wednesday.
that. Thank you.
I did. And there, of course, a lot of the people that are here were there as well speaking. What I had suggested to the council and to Mayor Brasida was that I would like to have a public forum. I did mention it to our CEO Shannon, and I did mention it to Mark Castanola, our Community Development Director, as well, to have a public forum. I think the residents and everyone would like us, including myself, some information. On Monday, the CEO, Councilmember Rubio, and Mark Castanola will be taking a tour of the clean tech facility, gathering up information so that we can as well address it at this public forum. And that way we'll have some information so that we can move forward with this.
Okay, Vice Mayor, thank you very much. At this point, Councilmember Susan Rubio.
Well, I know there's a lot of Spanish-speaking folks here, so I'll just sort of say what you said so everyone understands it. Buenas noches. Nada más queremos comunicarles que estamos con ustedes en este sentido. A nosotros, gracias. Proponemos a reunirnos con el concilio de la ciudad de Irwindale para ver cómo podemos resolucionar este problema. A nosotros nos interesa mucho porque vivimos aquí, precisamente yo vivo bien cerquitas, como 2 bloques de allí, y a todos nos interesa, somos residentes y como dijo uno de ustedes, que somos una comunidad y a todos nos afecta. So vamos a pelear, a juntarnos, y la concejal Vaca dijo que quería proponer una reunión, porque es muy difícil discutir estas cosas cuando hay muchas cosas en la agenda. Queremos proponer una junta en donde específicamente se platique de esa I want to say facility, de lo que quieren hacer, para poder agarrar todos los datos, toda la información y poder hacer una proposición a la ciudad de Irwindale, quizás a ver cómo podemos trabajar juntos. Pero estamos con ustedes y muchas gracias por venir. Gracias.
Thank you. Councilmember Mónica Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. I would actually like to see us put a letter together. I think that we all feel the same way. We don't want to see another potentially, toxic and kind of a contamination site near our community. It's like you said, enough is enough. We've just had so many uses that have been bad for our air, bad for our water, for just a number of pollutants that we have to deal with now on a day-to-day basis. And it's because of these uses. And, more recently we've been talking about the cumulative impact, because you have one use, then you have another use. Well, when you put those together, what is the overall impact on our community? And I think we really need to start taking some very strong positions on these uses, especially because, you have cities like Irwindale that they are benefiting from bringing in these businesses, but it's far enough away from their residents that it's not going to have the daily impact that it has on our residents. And so we really need to, reach out to Irwindale and try to get them to be better neighbors and to develop stronger relationships, and where we need to just, take a very firm stand. And what I would like to do is let's put a letter together and present this to the COG. Let's CC the COG, get the COG involved, ask them if they'll take a position, and then also CC the council members in the neighboring cities so that we can start to get, just raise the awareness. I've recently heard about this issue, so I think that there's going to be a briefing and an awareness that needs to occur for the city council. So whatever you on your site visit, whatever information you gather, please, Shannon, make sure that it comes back to the city council and we're fully briefed on what's going on, and we can articulate this to the neighboring communities and try to get a coalition, because, we've just been dealing with too many of these uses for too long. And we really have to start taking some strong positions. And to the earlier issue that was mentioned, the parking situation, I too want to just let you know that you both bring, the renters and the homeowners, bring very valid, positions. And, it's like, how do we find the middle ground, especially when years ago there was a project that was approved with a certain number of apartment units, a certain number of parking spaces, and that there's a reason why there are development standards. And somewhere along the way, there was non-compliance, and so now we are facing this issue. Now, with some of the newer developments that were mentioned, that's something that we have taken into consideration, and we will continue to take into consideration. And our Director of Community Development and our Planning Department has done a good job over the years of making sure that there's adequate parking. And, this is one of the few times that it has become an issue, but it has really arisen out of non-compliance from a development and a property owner. So just want to let you know, you all have valid concerns, and we will take those into consideration and try to see where we can help. And as far as, some of the comments that were made earlier, it's like the mayor said, we can agree to disagree. It's just that some people take it to a whole different level. And I really want to applaud all of you for coming up and speaking your positions and being very respectful, being strong with what you have to say, but being respectful, because it's always appreciated. And it also adds a lot of credibility to who you are and also to your cause. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mayor,
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry, just
Vice
one more
Mayor.
thing.
Yes, ma'am.
That is exactly why I attended the council meeting last Wednesday. It was brought to my attention by the faith community here in Baldwin Park that is very strong, pushing against this particular project along with some of the other projects. I felt that if I went as an elected official and did plead to the mayor and the council members that we would get some type of cooperation and we would be able to be heard, and that is why I am asking for us to have a public forum. I would like to hold off on that letter until we are able to visit the facility and be able to gather some information and then move forward with the opposition.
With all due respect, Vice Mayor Cruz Baca, when the actual MRF was proposed, the city basically ignored us completely, and with all due respect to them, because we know each other and we're neighbors. At the end of the day, they're looking for revenue, and that's what they're looking for. And no matter whether I visit the facility or not, I'm going to be honest, with all due respect to you, I'm going to oppose it. I don't think it's fair for residents of the city of Baldwin Park, and I also don't think it's fair for the residents of Irwindale themselves. They have the MRF from Azusa that eventually will probably spew right into their area, and then having this particular facility, regardless of the type of filtration that they will claim they will have and that it won't have any negative effect in the environment, I think ultimately, in my personal opinion, they're going to approve it, and I see your point. If you both want to go visit it, I definitely see your point. Let me also remind you that 15 years ago, there was a computer tech corporation which was massive. I can't remember the name of it. It was being proposed in Irwindale. As you go on Olive East all the way to the end, as it kind of cuts off on Center, I believe it is. It was referred to, I think it was called the wafer or something like that. It was going to have some kind of particular chemicals that they were going to house it right next to the actual Olive School, and it was hundreds of residents that opposed the actual project. And this corporation was adamant that they were going to build it and getting all this type of support. The good part about it that the market fell, and the proposal was scrapped, and I think it was because of the fact that all the residents went out there and protested. But I respect and I acknowledge what you're saying, but I still think we should place it on the following meeting for us to be able to vote on it, and as opposing the actual project. So.
I agree. Just because I want to visit the facility, maybe you misunderstood my whole principle of doing this and asking for a public forum so that we can inform the residents just like ourselves. I'm opposing the project.
Okay.
You got me wrong. Just
Okay.
because I went there and tried to talk to Mayor Brasida and give them the courtesy and the respect as neighbors, and as family members as well.
Of course.
I thought that they would come to do the same thing for us. If they don't, well, so be it. But I felt that it was my duty to go there to represent some of the people of Baldwin Park and for myself as well.
Okay.
That please do not take it
Oh, no.
in
And-
any way that I want, just because I'm going to go visit, I'm going to be talking
No,
to
no.
this project.
Well, let me, okay, I accept my apology. Okay. Okay, then that's fine. So what we'll do then, I'll allow both of you to go visit. This is my,
Thank you for giving us permission, Mayor. We really appreciate it.
okay. However, okay, there's always has to be however. I will stand on my position, regardless of the situation. I just want to make that very clear. So,
Mayor,
yes.
no, I definitely understand you.
Excuse me, please don't interrupt. Do not interrupt.
Yeah, and we're all in the same situation as I shared in Spanish. You know, we definitely want to work with you, but I truly believe, as well as our Mayor Pro Tem Cruz Baca, that the better informed we are and the more prepared we are, the better in the position we are to fight it. And if we don't have all the facts and all the information, it's really difficult to really put a fight together. But, you know, that's the reason we wanted to go see it and really informed ourselves. Not that we want to approve it, we want to oppose it along with you, but we want to be informed, and that was the only reason we wanted to go visit, Mayor. But we appreciate you saying
Yeah,
that.
and allow me, and I guess my worrisome is this, is that they're going to propose to bring this other toxic, and I'll say it's a toxic company they want to bring into Baldwin Park, and again, and here's another one, but I guess I've had enough, but nevertheless, I respect your position. Go,
Well,
Councilmember.
excuse me, Mayor, real fast, but the next time that you're breaking bread with Mayor Brasida, maybe you should mention it to him.
Hold on. I met with him. Actually, hold on. Both he and I, this past weekend, were invited by the Tijuana, Mexico government. Both he and I went, and both he and I had major conversations. Now, just to let the general public know, we have to converse, and we agreed to disagree. Both the mayor, and that's not the first time. That happened 15 years ago. We got in major arguments, but we still managed to keep our friendship and made it very clear where we stood. So that was shared, and I want to let you know, and the mayor knows that I am adamantly opposed to it.
Well, and Mayor, if I
Yes.
could also add, I mean, even more recently with the MRF,
Yes.
with the
Yes.
proposal of the mining here on Olive and at Lower Azusa Canyon Road. Now we're hearing with about the clean tech. So there have been a number of occasions where we've disagreed and where we've reached out and said, we need you to stop this. We've tried to have good conversations. At times we've even, taken this to a lawsuit. And so, and challenged their EIR process. So, the idea that we've disagreed, that we've taken very firm positions is not a new one. But again, I think, yes, of course, we need to be fully briefed. That's why I asked Shannon, our CEO, please come back to us with a full briefing. I'd like to really get this information. This is a recent issue that has been, brought to my attention in the last couple of weeks, I would say. I saw it on Facebook. I liked the Facebook page, and I was wondering what is going on here. Save the Santa Fe Dam Rec Area. So I'm glad you guys are here. You've taken this position. We need to be informed. We need the city to inform us. I mean, it's great that we have council members that will be doing the site visit, but just overall, please, let's get briefed, let's get informed. And I still do agree that we should still put together this letter and try to engage the COG, because again, this is cumulative for me. This isn't just one use. Right now, like I mentioned, there are 3 uses that could be detrimental to our the northeast area of the city. And, with the MRF, with this potential mining here, with this clean tech. And so, at what point is enough enough, So let's inform ourselves and let's get going with some actions too.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's end it there because I want to get out of here before 11:30. Let me formally apologize to the vice mayor. I'm sorry. Okay, I just want to extend that because we get along, we have win, so I'll agree to disagree. All right, thank you. I'm sorry. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and go into the agenda itself, the consent calendar. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Is it warm in here?
Yes, now it got hot.
Oh, Chief, did you want to mention some or no? Oh, by the way, the name of that company, you want to look it up. It's called Ortel. That was the company we fought against, Ortel. Ortell. Okay. All right. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and go over to consent calendar items that we have, items 1 through 7. Council members wishing to pull any item?
Mayor, I'd like
Yes.
to pull number 5 only because we've had a lot of stuff to read, and I need to study this Assembly Bill 857 a little
Okay,
further.
that's fine. All right, then we'll pull that.
I want to pull number 6, please.
Number
Thank you.
6? Okay, all right. So at this point, I will make a motion for approval of consent calendar items, all the consent items with the exception of 5 and 6. That is my motion.
Second.
Second. Any objections? See none, so move. Okay, item number 5 will be pulled, support of Assembly Bill 857, California Clean Truck Act, requested by Vice Mayor Cruz Baca. So we'll go ahead and move that.
Could we please move it to the second council meeting in May?
Okay, so it's a motion. I'll second. Any objections? See none, so move. Item number 6, which is the approve a contract with the Caberos Productions, is that how you say it, right?
Yes.
Productions, Inc., for a family circus tent show, and I think this is great. Yes, Councilmember.
Well, I just wanted to pull it because I already had heard from several people, residents, saying that this is going to cost us money. So I just wanted to assure the community that we're not spending money. The only reason we are going forward with this is that we stand to make $11,000, so it will not cost the city money. We will be making revenue, so we just wanted to point that out. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah,
and with that,
yes, and I just
I'll
want
make a motion to approve it.
All right, thank you.
second.
I'll go ahead and let me call for a question real quick. I just want to also say that it's going to be a beneficial, attractive opportunity for all the residents, and more so because it was hosted along the 10 freeway. So now it's going to be in the interior of the city. So we're looking forward at this point. So I want to thank the individuals that are here. Gracias. So at this point, the motion is to approve, and it was seconded by Councilmember Monica Garcia. Any objections? See none, so move. Thank you very much. Felicidades. Thank you.
Just one more thing, and Manny, I'll just refer to him. Can you just let the residents know when it will begin, when it will end, and give information so we can get the community out to enjoy it? Thank you.
Yes. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and the public. The festivities will begin this Friday at, I believe, 7:30 p.m. So they will be moving into town probably within the next few hours, and they'll start the setup tomorrow. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and through the week. Is it at 7:30? I believe 7:30, and on Saturdays and Sundays they have 2 shows. At 4:30 and 7:30. Yes.
All right. So at this point, no further questions. Want to thank you. Gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí en la ciudad de Baldwin Park. All right. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to go over to the public hearing, which is number 8, an appeal of the Planning Commission's decision to deny a request for a conditional use permit for the off-site sales of beer and wine, type 20, in conjunction with a convenience store pursuant to section 153.1.20.050A1 in the city's municipal code, location 3160 Ballpark Boulevard, applicant Bob Abbott. So at this point, we're going to have the Honorable and the Distinguished Amy Harbin.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, council members, members of the audience. As we stated, before you is an appeal of the Planning Commission's decision to deny a request for a conditional use permit for the off-site sale of beer and wine in conjunction with a convenience store, Chevron gasoline station at the Sierra Shopping Center on Baldwin Park Boulevard. As you can see from the slides, there are 2 lots which make up the Chevron McDonald's. This is a combination Chevron McDonald's, and they total approximately 50,000 square feet of land area and are a part of the overall 22-acre Sierra Center Shopping Center, which also includes Target, Food for Less, and Office Max. This is an aerial of the site. It is along the main entrance off of Baldwin Park Boulevard, and then Baldwin Park Boulevard. It's situated between the main entrance and the Tracy Street stoplight. There are numerous entitlements in this shopping center, and they're detailed on table 2 in your staff report. Those include a specific plan overlay, drive-throughs for the Jack in the Box and the Taco Bell, and then also the off-site sales of alcohol, which both Food for Less and Target have. Because this is a brand-new license to have the off-site sales of beer and wine, a conditional use permit is required, in addition to the standards included in recently adopted administrative policy relating to alcoholic beverage sales. There are 2 primary entrances to the Chevron that face the parking areas. And there's also a secondary entrance, which is over here. That's specifically into the McDonald's portion of the building. However, being that it's along Baldwin Park Boulevard elevation adjacent to the vehicular drive-through, which you can see here. And this is a picture that we took earlier today. I'm actually standing on the sidewalk here on Baldwin Park Boulevard. This is a handicap ramp. Across, there's an entrance right here. This is the vehicular drive-through. The proposed location, let me move on to the floor plan. The proposed location for the beer and wine are in these 2 coolers over here. The applicant is proposing actually 3 new cameras, 1 at each of the entrances and then 1 also over here. As council's aware, recently adopted administrative policy number 28 is entitled Development Standards for Alcoholic Beverage Sales. This policy includes 2 specific development standards. One, which limits the alcoholic beverage display area, and then the other requires that if a new off-site outlet is proposed that has less than 10,000 square feet of floor area, which this facility does, the applicant needs to relocate an existing off-site license within the City of Baldwin Park boundaries to the new location. And how we evidence that is we ask the applicant to enter into escrow to purchase that license from another location into Baldwin Park to transfer it here. The applicant has met both of those development standards, which is why they've moved on to the conditional use permit process. Based on the plans they've submitted, the 2 coolers is not going to exceed the 3%, and then also attached to your staff report are the escrow instructions that the applicant provided to us to purchase an existing license utilized by the former Fresh and Easy at 1640 Baldwin Park Boulevard. Also, as council members are aware, any type of alcoholic beverage sales is controversial in the city. In this specific instance, because the census tract is already over-concentrated, what I have outlined here is the census tract outline in red. The stars are where the existing off-site sales are, and they are Target and Food for Less over here, CVS, Smart and Final over here, and then 7-Eleven, which is over on the western end of the census tract. Another reason why the census tract is special is because, as I said, it is over-concentrated. This map, as you can see, there are 5 locations. Anymore, the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control requires a finding of public convenience or necessity in order to grant them a license at this location. Because alcoholic beverage sales are controversial, because we've known that the council really hasn't wanted to see additional alcoholic beverage sales, we move forward with a recommendation to the Planning Commission, and both staff and the Planning Commission are recommending that following this de novo public hearing held in accordance with Section 153.210.150-E of the city's municipal code, the City Council open the public hearing, receive any public comment, close the public hearing, and adopt Resolution 2015-063 entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Baldwin Park adopting the findings of fact and denying a conditional use permit to allow the off-site sales of beer and wine in conjunction with a convenience store pursuant to Section 153.120.050.A.1 of the city's municipal code." The location is 3160 Baldwin Park Boulevard. The applicant or appellant is Bob Abbott with Stantec Architecture representing Chevron Corporation, and the case number is CP 818. And this concludes staff's presentation.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. I'm going to request those that are opposing this particular appeal from the Planning Commission that come up at this time. So I'm opening up the public hearing for anyone that's opposing. All righty. And I'll ask the applicants after, but at this point, anyone wishing to speak to public hearing that are in favor? Okay, seeing no further interest, I now declare the public hearing closed. At this point, I'm going to have the applicants come up here so they could go ahead and speak on the actual proposal here. And this is regarding the denial of excuse me, this is an appeal of the Planning Commission denial of a conditional use permit for off-site type 20 beer wine sales in conjunction with Chevron Station. Yes, our legal counsel will say something real quick.
City Council, and Mr. Mayor of City Council, I wanted to remind you that this is a de novo hearing, you are not bound by the Planning Commission findings. This is a completely new hearing, and you should make your decision based on what you hear today.
Absolutely. All right, thank you very much. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Lozano,
Yes, sir.
members of the council. My name is Rod Spackman, and I am the Regional Government and Public Affairs for Chevron here in the L.A. Basin. I have my office in El Segundo. And I'm going to be speaking on behalf of our company in response to and in the desire to hopefully respectfully have you all reconsider the original decision that was made by the Planning Commission several weeks ago regarding the denial of our CUP request for limited beer and wine sales. And I have a small deck that I'm going to go through in conjunction with that, because I think the staff did made a good point in characterizing the broad elements of the area, the use. But we also appreciate the fact that we're an important member, we think, of the commercial fabric of this city, and we'd like to augment our current operations by allowing this limited activity to be part of our offering, so to speak, to the consuming public. So I'm going to try and walk through this very quickly. I do have some representatives here from our operations group in the marketing function. Tom Dutton, I always do this with Tom, he'll shoot me. Our senior security officer for the region is here as well to help answer some questions, because we, like you, want to do whatever we do with this site, we want to make sure it's done well, that it's consistent with the interests of the community, but just as importantly, that it's done in a safe and secure manner. So I'm going to try and run through this very quickly, and hopefully I can multitask appropriately. As was mentioned earlier, we really have tried to meet the administrative policy standard number 28 that was endorsed by the city last year, when you made a decision to limit new beer and wine sales licenses in the city. So we have acquired or have put in escrow a license to move from the Fresh and Easy site and bring that license over to our property. And in doing so, when I went by most recently, and we meet the standards as was indicated by the staff, but when I drove by the site most recently and spent some time in the property, the concept of overconcentration, I think, has to be looked at in the context of what the city's been trying to do. The city has been trying over the last number of years, I believe, successfully to redevelop some of the areas in the community and concentrate some of your commercial offerings. So that's why you have a Target there. That's why you have a Smart and Final there. That's why the CVS pharmacy is in that same area. Having the opportunity for those facilities, in the same way we would be looking for the opportunity to be able to sell beer and wine as part of that broader offering, doesn't necessarily mean that we're not over concentrated, particularly when you look in the context of the use and the reason that a consumer comes to those stores versus coming to our facility. So we are in fact proposing to move the site, and to some degree we think that the concept of overconcentration isn't applicable here and really not an appropriate finding when you look at how you've otherwise concentrated, so to speak, commercial offerings in general in that area, in that redevelopment. We talked a little bit about the site, so I'm just going to scroll through it. You saw sort of the different access points, but I think something that is more useful to the discussion of the interplay of the sale of beer and wine at this property and the site itself is to look at the access in more practical terms by blowing it up just a little bit. Where we would have this small area of activity is at the back of the store, so to speak. It's some 30-plus feet away from the typical entrances, or what we call the joint entrances for the co-branded elements of the property. So it's not like we're, quote-unquote, putting it in front of people in a way that where we're trying to make the sale of beer and wine the predominant element of what we do there every day, which is to provide a variety of different convenience items to the consumer. And so in the general plan, it talks about this need for a finding of public convenience or necessity. We think we meet, almost by definition, the standard of a public convenience. And I will say that we took the opportunity just in the week, this past week, to have customers coming to the facility sign a little petition to reflect that. So we obtained in less than a week 200 names on a sheet, basically saying we would like the flexibility of being allowed the opportunity when we're filling up our tank to come in and do what we do at a convenience store, and to have that included an offering of beer and wine. So it's here. We'll provide a copy to you, but it just reflects the fact that I think the community sees it as a convenience as well. It isn't just Chevron saying we'd like to do this at our store. We think the public would appreciate that same opportunity. And again, when you look at the site and the location and the offering, and I'm just going to run through some slides real quickly, you'll see that we're going to be taking up 2 of the 8 coolers that are on this rear wall. And with that, you can sort of get a sense of the layout of the property, because I think you have to look in the property again to understand the proximity to the co-branded site. And that's really the third issue that has come into play, I think, in the discussion. And that's this issue of compatibility of uses and concerns over whether or not somehow this activity creates an environment that is not consistent with the McDonald's activities as well. And if you look at it, I've been with the company for 35 years. I was around when we actually negotiated the first of the co-branded sites. So I'm very familiar with their activities and how they're laid out. And the sites pretty much are all designed in roughly the same terms. There are joint use access points that allow you to go to either side of the co-branded offering. And it's really a pretty straightforward exercise. And we don't kind of put beer and wine in people's face, so to speak, or suggest that we're somehow impinging on what would be otherwise, and I think the staff correctly reflected, the idea of a family-friendly and you know, a site that could be used either for the McDonald's piece or for picking up something that you're going to take home while you're filling up your tank, the car, on your car. Excuse me. So, again, just to give you some perspective, this is the kind of separation you see from the entrances that go immediately into the McDonald's, as opposed to where the actual sales would occur, or where we would be signing to show people where the beer and wine sales would be. And again, these are just good examples of the entrances. So, again, people do transit through the front end of the building, but they really, unless they're specifically coming to the back cooler to purchase something, and if they're going to the McDonald's only, they're really not impacted by the proposal that we have before you this evening. And I just want to give a little perspective to the idea that this is not new to us, and why I think we have a good sense that it can be done and done well and done in a way that doesn't impose on the interests of the community. We have some 26 company co-branded sites in California that look and feel very much like the one that we're describing for you this evening. 19 of those have beer and wine sales in them, and the majority of those are here in Southern California. So we understand this activity. I work in El Segundo. I have one a block away, 2 blocks down from my office at the corner of El Segundo and Sepulveda Boulevards. Co-branded offering, the McDonald's on one side. It's actively used by the community every day. Flip side of it is our convenience component. And we don't know of a situation, and none has ever been brought to our attention, where there's ever been a use or an activity that would be inconsistent with the expectation of the fact that this is off-site beer and wine sales. If someone were to come in and do anything that would otherwise attempt to not meet that standard, to consume alcoholic beverages on the property, for example, or do anything like that, we would take the immediate steps, working with the local police agencies, to ensure that those people were removed from the property. That's just the conduct and nature of how we get at our business. The last thing I'll say is there's a couple more slides. In conjunction with all of this, we have thought through some other things that we could do, and that they're in your presentation in the back. So the tabs that we gave you, the tab B has all the presentation elements on it, and A was some stuff that we'd already sent you. The A was the letter we sent you earlier. The C part of that tab is to show you all the security components that we look at in terms of just the operation of the site, how we train our staff, all the things that we do to ensure that we don't create an inappropriate environment if we do have beer and wine sales at the property. But most importantly in B, we just at the end, we've listed a set of considerations that we think might be useful in allowing you to reconsider the decision of the Planning Commission to go above and beyond that we might otherwise provide. And it's a list that I will happily read through, but I think you can probably see you can probably quickly look at it in general yourself. Basically what we're willing to do is put some significant restrictions on signage, location, access, all those things that you would expect us to do to ensure that no one comes to the property and does anything that would be unreasonable, inappropriate, or illegal. And so with those considerations in mind and adding those to the initial application, we would respectfully like to ask that the council would reconsider the decision of the Planning Commission and grant us a conditional use permit for the limited sale of beer and wine at this site. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions or to have the members of the team that are here.
Yeah, just thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for the presentation. I like actually what you have on item, actually under C, where it says beer, wine sales, about no signs in the windows. Cooler doors will have locks to secure beer and wine during those hours when its sale is prohibited. Alcohol beverages sales shall be limited to beer and wine. No fortified wines or malt liquor will be sold. This is pretty good from A through I. I like that because it's important. And of course, what basically is happening here, Amy, is we're transferring one actual alcohol beverage permit from Fresh and Easy, which closed, of course, and it was purchased by Chevron, to this current facility. I mean, I personally don't have an issue with that particular area, other than concerns about security. Do we need to add additional cameras or anything within that particular area?
My impression is that we've met the standards required by the city with the addition of the cameras, and there were no objections. As I read the staff report, there were no objections from the police department with regard to our general security overlay and the cameras and the other elements related to that. But if that's not the case, then we certainly will want to make sure we meet that standard.
I just want to double check and assure ourselves as well. But
Mayor.
yes, Councilmember.
Thank you.
Monica Garcia.
Yeah, I look at this area, and it's a major commercial area, and you are transferring the license within the city, so you've complied with that. You're complying. I'm fine with the layout. You've tucked it away in a corner. It's not the first thing that you see when you walk in. So I'm inclined to support, the request. And I've been, a council member and a planning commissioner that's expressed concern about oversaturation and, just granting these licenses. But to be honest, I would rather see a business like Chevron, like CVS, like Smart and Final, and so on, because I think that you guys have greater standards when it comes to regulation. And, I want to make sure that there aren't minors that are being, that they're able to obtain alcohol. And I think you guys have a high standard for that and are complying with the law. So again, I'm inclined now, the history of this site, I do frequent this site, and I often see loiterers.
Oh, okay.
And I'm wondering if there are additional, like maybe some greenery or some aesthetics, Amy, that we can consider in approving, as we approve and to add to the conditions of approval?
Yes. Should the council decide to go and approve this conditional use permit, I would recommend that would give, direct us to go back and prepare a resolution of approval. We can look at these conditions and also look at others too, in addition to these. A lot of these that he's showing right here are ABC conditions already.
Okay, great. So yes, so I would like us to take a close look at the security and, how you can proactively deal with the loiterers in the area, maybe coming up with like a security plan or something to address that. And so I would be inclined, if we were able to incorporate some of that.
Sorry about that. Want to just add it, I guess we'll probably request to bring back a needs for findings of convenience, something that would probably have to be brought back from your particular entity, I believe. Am I correct?
Yes. And
Thank you.
going back to something that Councilmember Garcia said, and it just slipped my mind.
Security, aesthetics.
Oh, yes, security. There is a section in our code that does state small retailers such as this one do have to provide a security plan, so that would be a condition of approval.
Automatic. Okay.
All right. Do you have a problem with that? I mean, it's,
No, Mr. Mayor,
Okay,
we
all
don't
right.
have a problem with that. We do this for all of our sites, and we have an overlay plan that covers all of our sites, and then we get site-specific as necessary in terms of the expectations at an individual location.
all right. Sorry about that. Vice Mayor, did you?
Tom, is that right? Am I representing that correctly, sir?
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anyone else have any other further questions? You want me to introduce? You want?
Either way, you
All
want
right.
me to?
Yeah. You go. You want?
Okay, sure.
All right.
I mean, I'll introduce the motion to approve the request with the conditions that we discussed, and ask that we bring a resolution back for our consideration and review. And I think that we have to state that we believe that there is a public convenience that could be that could result with the approval of this request.
So
That's
so
correct,
the
Council
resolution?
Member, that there does need to be a finding here today, that there is convenience, and of course, you could rely upon the comments that were made by the applicant and adopt what he has said as your findings of convenience, because he did raise a number of issues related to convenience. Or if you have your own ideas about convenience, that can be, but you do have to have a finding of convenience here today.
No, I would revert back to the public convenience, kind of arguments that you made. And again, I mean, this is a major commercial area. You did present, some signatures, and the public clearly has stated that they would support this, and they would like this convenience. So we'll
Right,
go
so
with that.
Yeah, so at this point, Councilmember Monica Garcia has moved for a motion to approve. Is there a second? I'll second. Are there any objections? No objections. So at this point, what we're looking at is to bring back a resolution. So at this point, the motion says that we're going to bring back a resolution to be able to bring this back for approval. Public.
Mayor,
All right. Yes,
just
sorry about
one
that.
thing,
Vice
and
Mayor.
I think it may be a little late because everybody was talking, because I frequent that shopping center and also use the gas station pretty frequently and the little convenience store. However, I do see a lot of panhandlers. Is there something that we could do about that? And I know that the whole shopping center has somewhat of a problem. I don't believe that it's out of control as far as them harassing people or anything like that. However, I would like to see if maybe there could be something that can be addressed to sort of control some of the panhandling as you're pumping gas.
We can make sure that that's included
Yes,
in their
please.
security plan that they submit to us.
Alrighty.
Amy, and I'm sorry, I just want to also state for the record, because I believe all of us feel very strongly about security and making sure that this is not convenience for those types of folks that, the bad element, they're going to come and grab beer and hang out around there. So security is really important, so we want to see that security plan. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, okay, thank you, Amy, and thank you very much. So we'll bring that resolution back. Will that be for the following meeting or next month?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Moving along now with the, just about at the ending here. All right. Okay, so the public hearing on item number 9 regarding 5-year consolidated plan fiscal year 2015-16 annual action plan, the citizens participation plan and analysis of impediments to fair housing choice fair housing plan. So at this point, thank you. The Honorable Susie Reales. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. As you might recall, this item was brought before you on March 18th. However, the public hearing was not officially open at that time. Therefore, tonight's public hearing satisfies the first of 2 required public hearings to allow residents an opportunity to comment on the proposed CDBG and home funded projects for not only fiscal year 15-16, but also included this year is the 2015-2019 5-year consolidated plan, the citizen participation plan, and the analysis of impediments to fair housing choice plan, which have all been available for public review since April 6th. All plans are due to HUD by May 15th. As noted in the staff report, HUD announced the CDBG allocations for fiscal year 15-16, and unfortunately, once again, we are seeing a $22,000 reduction from last year's allocation. Fortunately for all public service programs, even with the reduced allocation from HUD, the Joint Commission Advisory Committee was able to recommend the same allocation to each public service program as last year's, which basically results in no effect on existing public services. Something important to note is the pattern of reduced HUD annual allocations for the past few years, as clear indications that CDBG and home funding may also continue to reduce in the next 5-year period. Adding to this concern is the Section 108 loan repayment due to HUD at an annual average of $506,000 earmarked for the next 6 years. This is more than 50% of this year's total allocation from HUD. On a positive note, the city was recently contacted by HUD with an opportunity to refinance the Section 108 loan that could possibly result in a cost savings of over $370,000 between now and the loan's maturity date of in 2022. This opportunity is definitely something we're looking into, as well as considering all factors while preparing the 5-year plan. Staff is taking the reduction seriously and reviewing and researching cost savings allocations and possible alternative funding sources that could assist in maintaining programs such as code enforcement, administration, housing programs, and public services at the current level. We anticipate having more information as to what the city can expect in the next 5-year period at the second public hearing on May 6th. As you consider the allocations for all CDBG and home-funded projects, there are public services applications attached to your staff report for funding consideration. I do see some representatives from applicants here tonight who will be making, or who wish to make, presentations during the public hearing comment and answering any questions you may have regarding the program. As a reminder, the City Council will have a final opportunity to once again consider and approve funding allocations at the final May 6th public hearing. I'm available if you have any questions.
All right, thank you, Susan. At this point, I will open up the public hearing. Thank you. And I will entertain those that oppose the actual proposal. So anyone that's opposing, this is when the time to come up. All right, so at this point, seeing none, at this point, those that support, I will entertain you to come up here now for the public hearing. So anyone supporting, this is the time to come up. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. All righty. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Connie Brim. I am the president of the board of directors of the East San Gabriel Valley Coalition for the Homeless. And we are a 501c3 charitable organization, and we're dedicated to helping and housing the homeless of our region. We operate 4 programs. We have an emergency assistance program, a transitional housing program, winter shelter program, and we have a new Encore program that treats substance abuse among our clients. Our programs help people to rebuild their lives, and it helps to take them off of our local streets. We are very grateful for the support we've received from Baldwin Park in the past, and we hope you'll continue to support us. Sincerely, it means a lot. Every city in our valley has problems with people without homes. And we are all trying to work, all of us that are doing the work for the homeless are trying to come together and find major region-wide solutions. But really, every city should be involved, but I just commend the City of Baldwin Park for doing your part. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Martha Liu. I'm program manager for our Emergency Assistance Center, and I'm just going to give you some quick statistics about fiscal year 2013-14, which already passed, and our current fiscal year 14-15. So for fiscal year 13-14, we were able to provide numerous services to our clients from the City of Baldwin Park. We were able to provide services to 351 new people from the City of Baldwin Park. And then we were also able to provide 717 duplicated services, meaning people from the city of Baldwin Park continued going to our facility for emergency services such as food, lunches, showers, tokens, hygiene products, clothing, motel vouchers. And we were able to spend about $7,000 last fiscal year for emergency shelter for our families from the Baldwin Park area. And we're currently still working on fiscal year 14-15, and I did bring some statistics from July 2014 through March of this year. And so far we're almost reaching the $4,000 mark in our motel vouchers for families, like I mentioned. And we have been able to service a little bit over 200 new clients from the city of Baldwin Park. And right now we're at a total of 700 client visits.
Wow.
Like I said, individuals and families who continue going to our emergency assistance center for services. And like Connie mentioned, I would like to thank you for the years that you have provided funding for our agency. The money that is provided is an immense help. It helps us continue opening our doors and servicing people who are in need of services, daily services that we need ourselves. So I would like to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody have questions?
All right. All right. Thank you very much. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. At this point, council members wishing to... Oh, do we have one more? Hey. Oh, the Honorable, the Distinguished Dr. Flores. Thank you, sir. Oh, he's probably a professor. And with a PowerPoint.
At APU, no less, right,
Yes,
mister?
as we know, APU.
Dr. Paul?
There's a lot of APU here, so we're good.
Hey.
I wanted to get out here before 11. So.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for recognizing that, Doctor. Oh, yeah.
Once again, good evening, everyone, Mayor and Council, and thanks for staying late. Appreciate all the work you do for the city. My name is Paul Flores. I'm here tonight on behalf of Church of the Redeemer at Baldwin Park, and just want to thank you, as our other colleagues have said, for the support you give in helping us serve the city as well, too. We have been funding a food program for over the last 25 years. The church itself been in Baldwin Park for over 50 years. I myself have been a part of that, carrying on the legacy that my father started many years ago. You all know the economic situation, challenges that we face as a city, and yet at the same time the opportunity and privileges we have to serve people who are in need of food. Our scope of service cover that: homeless, low income, seniors, disabled, those illiterate as well too, who come on a daily basis. And we do have more major distributions on a weekly basis as well, too. Those are some of our statistics as far as how many people we're serving, primarily all from the city of Baldwin Park, and also special events that we do for, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, that we just completed not too long ago as well, too. We partner with the city of Baldwin Park and Baldwin Park Unified School District as well, too. They send high school students that help us box food and load food into cars, as well as encourage people in life and to continue living life in the struggle that they do face. I do have a video here, but didn't work. In previous meetings, I've been able to bring people who have received food, who are local residents, and at the same time as being recipients of our food program or the city's food program, now turn around and get back and serve in our food program as well, too. We're excited about those opportunities as well, too. We think there's going to be an increase, and so therefore we want you to consider the numbers that have been presented by the different subcommittees as well, too. We have seen an increase in our own distribution days and in the emergency days that we give out every single working day as well, too. Unemployment rate in Baldwin Park continues to remain high, so we don't necessarily see the need going away as well, too. And then the fact that as unemployment is still higher than the state average and the median household income in Baldwin Park is still lower than the median average in California, we think of 1/3 of the population here in Baldwin Park is between the ages of 15 and 34. Definitely, I think, a target area in which we as a community want to come together to help meet that need as well, too. So we want to thank you. We see this more as an opportunity to involve community members with our partnerships with the school district and various other faith-based organizations here in the city, as well as partnering with the city government as well, too. Most of the referrals come by word of mouth, but also through the various different agencies that the city provides, and also by the county as well, too. So I want you to consider the opportunity we have to do serve in that, and the value contributions that we all make together serving the city of Baldwin Park and those who are in need of food. Thank you for your consideration and your time, and God bless you, and have a great rest of your evening, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
And Council.
Dr. Flores, is there a possibility that I could get a copy of that or email to me?
You sure can. I'll
Alrighty.
do that for you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, and move along. Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and
Good evening.
council members. Thank you for staying late. My name is Michael Ward. I'm with St. John the Baptist Social Services. Basically, we go from A to Z, Z being Zumba, with Patricia, who was up there earlier. She works with me on that program.
All right.
The class that this is funding for is the Parenting and Violence Prevention class. And what that is designed to help people who are in really dire situations. Right now, we have a couple where the woman had a drug issue and the man in the relationship thought he would solve it by beating her up. We've just added a 17-year-old last night who's attending North Park, who's had 3 convictions for violence, so he's been sent to our class. A lot of times the parents have had their children taken away. So it's not just the little rugrats are running around and they're coloring on the walls. How do I control them? This is rather serious stuff. We've had a guy who pulled a knife on a sheriff's deputy. Things that most of us probably don't want to do ever. And so the goal of this is we have a social worker who comes. She works for the Pasadena Unified School District full-time, and she comes and provides their method of how do we resolve this, how do we improve their lives. Issues that have been discussed that I'd just like to assure you are not really problems. It's bilingual, Spanish and English, based on who comes. It is open to everyone. There's no check on, oh, you're Catholic, you come to the parish. Susie can tell you I'm rather strict on the paperwork, though, perhaps too strict, but we are careful with that. We do see success, and part of our success is we're able to see what the problems are that led them to beating up their spouse or beating up their kids, and sometimes that's finding them a job or getting them drug treatment solutions. Advertising, yes, we do reach out. The probation department's approved the program, so they're on board and they send people. I contact the school liaison officers because we have relationships with them for different projects. The church, the internet, Baldwin Park Patch had it on yesterday, for example. So we're getting clients from different places. So it's not these huge numbers of clients, but I think they're really in-depth and important clients. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak on the public hearing? If not, I now declare the public hearing closed. At this point, just want to let the general audience that we're going to have a second hearing. Am I correct? It does require a second hearing. So at this point, I want to thank the individuals that were here and partook and to share their particular programs as well. So I believe the decisions will be finalized at the next meeting. So if you wish to be here in person as well. Thank you very much.
Mayor, just real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I just want to thank everyone. I mean, I know everyone's not here that's listed, but everyone that does so much, and thank you for doing the job that you do, because we all need to support our communities, and I know that a lot of you service people outside the community. It doesn't matter because we all want to make sure everyone's taken care of. Thank you to Paul Flores and you as well. Thank you so much. Just taking care of our community. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. All righty.
Mayor,
Yes,
I also want to
Vice
thank,
Mayor.
Pastor Flores as well as Mike Ward, who I work closely with the social services at St. John's. They reach out, and also to the ladies from the homeless shelter. More and more, we see a need for this, families that I consider the working homeless. They have jobs, but they can't afford an apartment, or they can't, so they are with their children living in a car, and because of these organizations, they're able to at least get a bag of food and be able to make it through the week until they get their check. So thank you very much for reaching out to our very much needed community.
Mayor, I also want to just take the opportunity to thank all of you for the work that you do in our community. Thank you for your commitment. And I wish that we could allocate more money to each of your programs. And I'm disappointed to see that there was a reduction. But, thank you for making it work and for your commitment to our residents. I know I often reach out to Dr. Paul Flores, and I really appreciate how responsive and helpful, and the guidance that they provide. So much appreciated.
Oh, and also thank you to Susie Ruelas and our staff for putting this together. Thank you so very much.
All righty. Thank you. Real quick, just want to cover for the Church of the Redeemer. They 2014 and 15 were given $8,000. They did request $15,000, and what was approved is $8,000 for the
San Gabriel Valley.
for the San Gabriel Valley Coalition of Homeless. They requested $10,000, and we're given the $10,000. St. John's was requested $2,150, and they were given $2,150. I'm just wondering, is there a possibility we could increase the Church of the Redeemer and obtain some funds from elsewhere? And they play a major role, especially more so now at this specific time. Just trying to. Yes. Or can we bring this back? I mean,
Yeah, it has to come back one more time.
Yeah, you could bring it back, but I can let you know that the maximum that we have is already allocated. So if you do want to give some more to one, you'll have to take away from someone. We cannot provide any more CDBG than what we have available here.
is there a probability we could take maybe, say, 1,000? Well, 1,000 from graffiti removal. No, or leave that there? Okay.
We
I
can
heard
do
you.
anything you want.
Okay. Well, how about the family service? That's our family service center, right?
Yes.
28,000. Can we take maybe 1,000 and add 1,000, at least 9,000 for the Church of the Redeemer? Would that hurt?
We'll let Director
Carrillo?
Carrillo answer that.
Yes, Mayor. The monies reduced from CDBG will be backfilled with general fund money.
How about the Santa Anita?
So that will affect our general fund.
Yes.
right?
Yes. So the general fund will backfill those funds.
Okay, I see.
Says-
Because I see the ones with asterisks. They're city. How about the Santa Anita Family Service Center? How are they doing? That's requested 3,300, and we're allocating 3,300.
They are our service, our senior provider
Mental,
and
yeah.
disabled. But again, you can make any changes you'd like as a council. The two that do affect, as far as city, that do affect administration, that would affect the general fund, are the Family Service Center and graffiti removal. The youth employment they would just go less.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Well, let me ask. We could, say for instance, if we were to get the graffiti removal 1,000, we could fund it from the general fund, a one-time transfer. Can't we do that?
Mayor, right now, as much as I want to help everyone, I just don't think we should be dipping into our general fund to provide these, CDBG funds. Like I said, and I feel really badly because as much as we want to help everyone, there's not enough money to go around.
I know, but we're asking for $1,000.
I know, but that's taking it out of our general fund, and this is not about our general fund. This is about CDBG
Okay.
funds. So I'm not comfortable taking it out of our general fund. This
I
is a
agree.
totally separate issue.
How about the youth employment?
That's the city.
The youth employment program provides employment opportunities for low-income youth within the city that are working during the summer. It's basically like the summer youth program. That used to be the CETA worker. I don't know if there's other opportunities for funding with that.
If council chooses to lower that amount, that would just result in less kids being hired
Yeah, that's
and
fine. Leave it
less
as
hours.
is. Leave it as is. Okay, so I guess at this point, it doesn't look like I would get support from the general fund for $1,000 for the Church of the Redeemer.
Hold a
Well,
fundraiser.
Mayor, you know what? I mean, I think for some of these city programs, we should look at,
This one time.
are there other funding sources? Are there restricted funding sources? Or, I mean, the domestic violence advocate, that was an item that I introduced years ago that the council supported, and it's one that's near and dear to my heart. But at some point, I think it's more sustainable if we look at, funding it through a different funding stream versus CDBG. So I'm not proposing that we reduce it this year, but maybe in the future, let's look at a more sustainable, funding stream. Maybe it's a restricted grant or restricted funds. But I mean,
All right. Okay, I hear you guys.
And I'm okay. I'm okay pulling, $1,000 from the general fund, but I think just kind of out of practice, we just need to look at kind of sustainable methods, funding sources.
Right. Then what I'll do, I'll back up. Legal counsel to my far left, Juris Doctorate, by the way, Mr. Tofoya is saying that his firm will sponsor $1,000 to the Church of the Redeemer. Okay.
Hey.
So that'll make it 9,000. All right.
No, that would be just a separate issue.
Yes.
On its own.
Yes. So
and please, Dr. Poe, just know that we all just want to help everyone, and that's the difficult task that we have. Like, we want to help everyone because at the end of the day, you're servicing our children, our community, our seniors, and we wish that the state, we can get more money, but we can't. So I really want to support you. And again, it's just a struggle. Who do we take from? And someone's going to suffer regardless. And so my apologies.
all right. So at this point, I will move for approval of the Joint Commission's recommendation for funding as revised. I guess yes, as presented because there was no revisions.
Second.
Okay, there's second. Any objections? See none, so move. All right. At this point, we will Excuse me. What happened to my agenda?
Item number 10 is the next one.
Yeah, we're item number 10. We're going to request. I'm going to move to table that. So we'll move that to the next meeting. Number 11, discussion on restoring previous city events. So we talked about that briefly, and at this point, we're going to leave the street fair.
Market.
What is it called?
Street fair, street market.
Street fair. That and also what was the
The
second?
concerts in the park?
Concerts in the park, and it was suggested, even though I would support to have the 4th of July for this year, I think there would be an opportunity. Any interest in that, or does everyone want to save that for the following year?
Well, they were talking about the tight schedule that they have in order to put this together, and I know we can probably pull it off, but it's just so late in the game, and it would be more, I think, to our advantage to have time in the future to draw sponsors and help out pay for some of the costs, but for next year, I would definitely be on board.
Alrighty.
I would say that the fireworks and the parade are my top events, and only because so many residents have come up to me over the last few years, very disappointed that those were, eliminated because of the budget constraints. And so I would prefer that we look at the fireworks and maybe reduce some of the concerts or even the street fair, because I feel like those are staple events in our community and they serve a different purpose. I mean, like the fireworks 4th of July event, it brings people together, and it's a nice community event that people would otherwise be at home probably shooting off their M80s or whatever, and it just provides a good venue, a safe venue. I think to the extent possible, we just need to do everything we can to dissuade, residents from having their own fireworks shows at their home, because this is it's like a battlefield on 4th of July. So I'm very much in favor of having the 4th of July this year. And by the way, I did like Thomas Carey's comment about preparing for next year for the celebration of our anniversary too.
60 years. All right. So at this point, sir, is that a motion?
I want to see the fireworks show this year.
So do I.
I want to just have input in, and I think we all want to see the fireworks, but the difference is that it's going to cost, and I believe we discussed it earlier, $33,000 that at this point we don't have, and we would have, But we have things pending, like our negotiations and a lot of things that are pending, and I just think it wouldn't be prudent to move forward if we don't know where we're at financially. So I think that's the only reason I choose to wait, because I also love the 4th of July celebration, but again, it's going to cost $33,000 that we don't have.
And
Well-
you know, we just struggled with giving $1,000 to the Redeemer for their program, and we're going to spend $33,000 on a fireworks show. I don't see a good message there at all.
But the
I
street
think we
fair,
should wait till next year.
but the street fair is going to cost $42,000, but I know that money's coming from the business sector.
Well,
Well-
the business, but not only that, we also, there's vendors, and I know the vendors don't generate that much, but we do have sponsors, like the last time, that paid for a majority of that. I think very little of that actually came out of that special budget.
And does that cover staff time and costs?
Does it-
Do the vendors pay for staff time and costs? Like for the, police presence, for, all the time and costs associated with staffing?
But that's for every single event. I mean, if we talk about the 4th of July, same thing. We probably paid $33,000. Then we have to add the overtime, all the staff, the setup, and it's a whole day event. But that's not how I choose to look at things, because everything's going to have a cost. That's why we have staff. I honestly want to support the 4th of July, but when we're talking about the street fair, it promotes the businesses, it brings community together, and it's over a course of 6 weeks versus one day, $33,000, and, it's gone in one day. So I'd rather put that money and spread it out and have more of a celebration that's throughout the summer. Again, talking about the kids and the youth and family, that's a great way to have something for our families every single week versus one day. And again, I would be in favor next year when we can figure out our negotiations, where we're at with our finances, and then move forward from there. But I do love the 4th of July, just for the record, but it's just so expensive just to waste it all in one day.
Out of curiosity, so the $42,000 for the actual street fair, so we're saying that does not include the staff time? Can someone correct me on that?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
the $42,000 does include staff time, materials, supplies, and so on.
So then the $33,000 does include the staff time as well for 4th of July?
Correct. 4th of July
All right,
is
so it does.
approximately $33,000.
Okay, and I guess that's kind of 4th of July is important because it's a birthday of our country, and every city is very patriotic on those particular days. More so, I think, than a lot of other type of celebrations, because it is, of course, something that every American celebrates, and you have a lot of veterans that are asking, well, what's up with our 4th of July? So let's bring it back at this point and see what happens. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and let's table it for the following, for further discussion. Okay? If it
I'll
doesn't
second
pass,
that.
doesn't go. All right. So at this point, we are in agreement with the actual street fair and for the concerts.
So do you think we should just make the motion just for the sake of time to
Yeah.
move forward with what, I think we discussed it already at the study session, so can we just make the motion, and Mr. Tafoya, does that cover it, if we just make a motion to move forward with what we discussed already in the study session?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Minus the 4th of July.
Minus the 4th of July? Well, you know what we better do? We better bring it back, because if I can't get the 4th of July, I'm not going to vote for the others.
So just to clarify, as of right now, council's choosing to move forward with the street market and the concerts
And the 4th of July.
and 4th of July.
And we need a motion for that, because.
Okay, let's go ahead and motion. Okay, is there a motion to pass the street fair and the concerts? So.
I'll make a motion for that.
And I'm going to include, and I'm definitely going to include the 4th of July, all three.
If I could just add also, Manny, I think you need direction tonight on the 4th of July if you have.
Yes.
To give you enough time to plan the event.
Yes,
If we
Mr.
wait
Mayor.
another 2 weeks, I don't think you're going to have enough time to plan that event.
No, I'm not. If the city council approved 4th of July tonight, I feel relatively comfortable I would be able to provide a 4th of July program. It would be very, very tight, but I think we could make it happen. If we have to wait until the first meeting in May, I don't believe it would be possible to provide a 4th of July program for this year.
So the mayor's made a motion, and I'll second that.
Any objections?
Yes, I object.
Okay,
to
Madam
4th of
City
July.
Clerk, Madam City Clerk, objection. Well, no, we're doing all of them together. We want to separate them?
I don't want, I don't agree to the 4th of July, I'm sorry.
All right,
I
so,
can't vote for something
all right,
that,
so at this point, all right, so I guess let's take them individually then. Let's take them individually. So at the first one.
Mayor, before we vote, I just want to add it, because I know you said if you don't get the 4th of July, you're not voting for anything, all the other ones, but at this point, staff needs direction. Everything's time sensitive. If we, go that route, then we may not have anything because, again, they need to get going with preparations. And I would just really plead with you to consider the others. Again, I stated my personal reasons that I just don't feel that if we don't have like the negotiations in place, I feel like that's sort of kind of in the air, and 33,000 is a lot. But next year, I promise you that I will support it as long as, we have time to plan it and gather sponsors, and I think that's important.
All right, so let's go ahead and do that.
In terms of this year, you did just sign a lease about 3 weeks ago for a one-time $1 million in terms of the cell towers.
Oh, that's right.
but wait a minute here, folks. We still have the negotiations. If we're looking at all of a sudden using that million without knowing what we're going to be doing or what we're going to consider for our staff and our employees,
It's just an
I
option.
feel very guilty doing that. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic, but we need to take a look at our employees and everyone that have been waiting 7 years for raises.
Oh, okay. All right. So the motion, let's clarify the motion. Thank you for sharing that. So at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and vote on in them individually. Let's just go back. Let's start over. And that's fine. So the first one will be the street fair. So who wants to make a motion for the street fair?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any objections? Seeing none, so move. Street fair. All right. Second one we're going to do is the concerts. So I'll make a motion for the concerts.
I'll second it.
Any objections? Oh, excuse me. Seeing none. All right. So 4th of July. 4th of July. Is there a motion? I'll make a motion. Second?
Second.
Any objections?
I object.
Okay, one objection. Madam City Clerk? The flag's over here. Roll call, please. Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Okay, it's obvious we'd probably be here past 11:30. I'm going to go ahead and, let's bring this to the following meeting. If it fails, it fails.
But there's not enough time.
I don't believe there's enough time, but if the mayor wishes to have it at the next meeting, it'll give me an opportunity to evaluate all of the processes we need to go through.
When you say that there's not enough time, what are you referring to, the 4th of July or all of the events?
Just 4th of July, only because we have to go out to bid, award a contract.
Well, let's try and see how far we could get. Well, wait a minute, we don't have the votes yet. If we don't, let me see. If we don't next time. Okay? All right, okay, so at this point, let's move on. At this point, actually, we're going to, any council members wish? Oh, number 12, selection of printing options and award of contract for printing a ballpark. Okay, Manny Carrillo?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I will just discuss about the paper options and the frequency. We chatted a little bit about it at the last meeting.
I thought we made a mine already, didn't we?
Well, you did, or the council members did,
yeah.
and that was option number 3.
Right.
Printing 6 times a year. That would increase from 4 times to 6 times with a minimal increase. And the school district will be participating, so most likely it will be a neutral or a savings to the city.
So are we right here voting on moving forward with this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I will make the motion for number 3, the item number 3 to move forward with it. And
second.
you're asking for 4 or 6, correct?
Yes.
I do know that this option number 3 is the least expensive, so we can increase it to 6 versus 4, so I would make a motion to go to 6.
All right, there was second by Vice Mayor. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. All right, Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, I will move for adjournment of the city council. That is my
Second.
motion. Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I'd like to open up the finance authority, and we have actually, I'm going to actually open up the public communication. Anyone wish to speak, because I didn't say concurrent. So it's open. Anyone discussion about referring to the finance? See no interest, I now declare the public communication closed. At this point, I will move for consent columns items 1. That is my motion.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. All right. At this point, I'd like to open up the. At this point, I'd like to close the finance.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I'd like to open up the housing authority, and we have items 1, which is the consent calendars. I will make a motion to move.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, yes. Real quick, I need to open up the public communication. Thank you very much. On the housing, anyone wish to speak in any particular area relating to this section? Okay, seeing no interest, I now declare the public hearing closed. At this point, I will move to close the housing authority. That is my
Second.
motion. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. At this point, Viva Ballpark. Good evening, everyone.
Night.
And
Viva.
it's exactly 10. What 10:10? Viva Ballpark.
Almost.
Boy, we broke a record today. Whoa. We're almost there.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.